All right, I think that did it. Can you see and hear me right now, chat? Let me know. All right, thank you, Lenny. Audio and video, beautiful. Well, hello once again, everybody, and welcome back to eastern Utah. Welcome back to the earliest Cretaceous Cedar Mountain Formation. Welcome to a live dinosaur dig with the Utah Geological Survey. Welcome back to Paleontologizing. My name is Danny Anduza. I'm a dinosaur paleontologist, and well, I work on dinosaurs, hence dinosaur paleontologist. I want to make very clear, most paleontologists do not work on dinosaurs. Paleontology is the study of the history of life through the fossil record in general. So there are paleontologists who study everything from fossil bacteria to fossil baleen whales, from fossil ferns to fossil frogs. I happen to work on dinosaurs, which is why I'm out here. And dinosaurs are what I study, what I publish on in the scientific literature, and what I dig up during the summers. And it is my honor and privilege to be able to share some of that with you. The last part, the fieldwork part, right here while we're out doing fieldwork near the town of Moab, Utah. It's great to have you here, everybody. We have been absolutely blessed by cloud cover today. Look at this. You know, I don't know what the current temperature is, but it's got to be like maybe low 80s or something. Fahrenheit, not Celsius. Yeah, we are so lucky. It should be 110 degrees Fahrenheit right now, this time of year. We've been so lucky so far. We'll be out here for another 2 weeks, and no, man, it's going to get hot at some point, but it hasn't yet. We've been very, very fortunate. Anywho, I'm going to be walking around with the camera, showing you how we dig, answering questions, kind of talking with some of our fellow paleontologists and volunteers in the quarry, and yeah, it's going to be a good time. So especially if you're new here, do not hesitate to ask questions. That's what this is all about. Yeah, and who have we, let's see, 87. It feels cooler than that, but I don't know. Yeah, Moab is south of us, and I think, yeah, I bet here. This is really nice. Good stuff. Science Streams, how you doing, Belint? Hello. Charlie's Dragon, Claire, thank you for all your hard work, as usual. Appreciate you immensely. Nell and Crimson, how is everybody doing? Hey, Pomez 8, hello. What's shaking? Yeah. And Moxie Drinker, hello to you too. Yeah. We are continuing to get down into the bone layer today, in search of our new iguanodont dinosaur, possibly 2 new species of iguanodont. Either way, this is important work. And I've not found a single bone today. The patch that I've been digging in is pretty barren thus far. But that's, you know, you got to get through the rock one way or another, whether it contains bones or not. So, yeah, we're making progress. And Murph, holy cow, 37 months. Holy moly. Appreciate you, Murph. Thank you for your ongoing support. It means a lot. It's the only reason I can be out here doing this work is because of the generous support of viewers like you. So thank you, Murph. And thank you, Dr. Irrefutable, 27 months. Holy cow. Nebraska Farmer, 5 months. Thank you. Yeah. This is great. Yeah. Marine 11, hello to you. Otter Do It, what's shaking? Good to see you. Yeah. Butter, how are you doing? Welcome. Antelope Loopers. How are things on your end? I hope they're good. Welcome back. Yeah, again, we're working with the Utah Geological Survey here, broadcasting to you live via satellite from the remote desert of eastern Utah. And one thing that's been noteworthy today is the ants. The ants are going crazy today. Belinter, you're there in the chat, right? They seem to really be going nuts today because it's not too sunny and it's pretty cool. And so they are very bold. I've been bitten twice so far today. But there's just ants everywhere. They are really having a field day. I'm not sure these are, I think, harvester ants. But, yeah. And here is their mound up here next to the satellite dish. Yeah. Hope I didn't step on that, but it's possible. Anyway, so yeah, they've been everywhere. And Uncle Dud, thank you for the 5 gift subs. I really appreciate that. Thank you kindly. There's 5 lucky chatters who won't have to worry about any ads for the next month, thanks to your generosity. I appreciate that. They appreciate that. Thanks for supporting science outreach here on Twitch. That's a good thing. I'm grateful. Thank you.
None of these horizons go forever.
Good stuff. Chaotic Time Traveler, Lunia Rose, Double Egg. Are they antsy? They are. And Badondle, yes. Hello to you too. Good to see you here. Yeah. Anyhow, this is where Fisher and I have been working today. I didn't get any digging in yesterday. We got back to the site, and then I immediately started streaming. And but yeah, today I've been peeling back this layer. We've got one bone there next to the brush. There we go. But yeah, not a whole lot else so far. Yeah, although over here, they've been finding a lot of bones left and right. So, you know, sometimes when it rains, it pours in a situation like this. Yeah. Got anything over there, Don?
No, I think this quarry's played out.
It's time to go home.
No, I mean, I took out that jacket and there's a few things over there.
Yeah.
We're just gonna keep tearing in.
Yeah.
There's gotta be something coming up soon.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think any of these layers go forever. I just think there's lots of different on echelon layers, through this whole area that were, in place over some thousands of years. So, this event, this mud flow, bringing in bones, moving things around, would have edges on it. But then there'd be another one later, as we were talking a second ago, the sauropod. If I hadn't found that rib under the bobhead fin, well under it, we might have just stopped there. And this whole thing going all the way across the Gary's Island, this whole area level would never have been discovered. And now 1,000 bones or something out of it. But we wouldn't have found it. And there may be, if we dug down there 3 feet, there may be a whole nother bone horizon going. That pinches out this way. This is the thing. I think it's a giant site. It covers the whole floor of this place clearly. But I think it's pockets here and there, and you get into something good and work it for some years. And, I would definitely keep this whole basin as a super high priority area, even if no one's working here at the time.
Sure.
It's like if we had a bobcat, I would plane that whole wash going down there, down to this level.
Cut that all down to this,
But taking it slow, looking, because we could hit another bone bed that's feet above this. So you'd want to be really keeping your eyes open. Boom, we got another horizon. It's at this level. Okay, now let's follow that. When you look across the wash, part of the reason this is here is dug out bones midway up that slope.
Oh, really? Up there?
Absolutely.
I didn't know that. Shoot.
There was a thing I thought might be an ankylosaur skull, wasn't it? That I dug over there.
What
but
did
it
it
was.
turn out to be?
I'm not sure. It's kind of a blobby thing of bone. I don't know if we ever decided what it is, but it was a pretty good sized thing. And then on the bench over here, you got a big iguanodont jaw, sauropod rib. Really the only sauropod on this side of the wash. What's this?
Iguanodont vert came from the base of that hill.
You're way above this stuff. So it's like we can't say, oh, if this pinches out here, it's over. No, it's just this pocket is ended, and there'll be other pockets. I think there's going to be stuff here. I mean, I'd love to go out in the dunes with a bulldozer and just get a big area and just plane down like they do in the Hell Creek. They'll just plane down huge areas until all of a sudden they nick bone.
I've never done that.
Oh, I've been there when they've done it. Oh, yeah. That's how they found Duffy. The skull bones were spread over about 3 acres, and they just planed down.
Definitely the T-Rex. This is
Yeah.
PHI doing this.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
and they would never have found that skull. It was like meters from the next one.
Yeah.
Meters. Nothing in between. And they just and they planed, and those in the hell, when you're into fresh rock, particularly there, this stuff's going to break up rubbly.
Sure.
But a lot of that stuff, it would cut like mahogany, the swirling organic. Stuff looked beautiful when we were planing some sites down. And they have someone just laying on the blade.
Yeah.
And they say, oh, you nicked a bone. And they'd stop and excavate the bone. And they just keep going. But that animal would never have been uncovered otherwise.
Sure.
And commercial guys do that all the time. But you've got to go with big bulldozers and the Bone Cabin area. They had bulldozers out there when they were working.
Wish we had that kind of budget here.
And I love to have a bobcat. I don't need a bulldozer, but a bobcat would be sweet.
Yeah.
I would.
Again, if anybody wants to donate a bobcat to the Utah Geological Survey,
needs repairs, we'll get it fixed.
there you go. Yeah.
But it's like your whole area there. I'd take a dozer and just plane that whole area out there. Down to this level. We don't have the equipment to do it.
Yeah.
But
pretty nice. You need a big crew to excavate that area, though.
Yeah. Well, that's like Jim's place. I'm like, if we don't hit anything to that high wall there, I'm like, let's move the whole thing over to Jim's place because we got a big bench there. We know there's skeletons associated and stuff. A lot of iguanodonts and Therizinosaur. Ankylosaur stuff. A little deeper, like the lowest level, there's some sauropod stuff. And go over there and work that. Because if you looked over there, we got a bench as big as this whole area.
Oh yeah.
Down to.
Yep. I remember being there my first year here. There were some people working at Jim's place. I think nobody found much of anything the whole summer. It was.
There had a lot of stuff down at Karen's place. We haven't touched Jim's place in a decade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was talking about right there.
Yeah, no, that's the bend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We were calling it Jim's place that summer, I think.
Well, it's because we got the pelvis there and stuff.
Yeah,
And a lot of the ankylosaur.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I still think another 5 feet in is probably a bone. We're going to get in a bone again. But no, Jim's place is over there. We have a big wall of dirt like this between that and Karen's place, and it's just loaded with stuff.
Yeah.
We had a backhoe come in and with a shovel down over this big area, and we dug about half of it. But then we found this, the sauropod, and we abandoned that for the sauropod.
Right.
And we found under the sauropod. That's how it's gone.
Yeah.
We had
Hopping from one site to another.
Working, and we just shifted over to here. But no, that's still a lot of stuff. It would, we would very quickly be coming down on lots of numbers. There's no doubt. We got associated skeletons there. We got stuff that this German group of kids uncovered this big area with this rib cage and stuff in iguanodont. Very much associated skeleton of juvenile.
And that's all from right here in Doling's Bowl. This is
all
in
that's
the
over
Valley
Jim's
floor.
place. Yeah.
So I know we talked about this last year, but if you were to have 100 people out here for 2 months every summer, how long would it take, you think, to go through this whole valley and find everything worth finding?
Several centuries.
So there's
if you're doing it right.
Yeah.
It's like you can't just throw people on stuff and just go dig. Cause it's not like digging potatoes. You got to do it properly. You got to be mapping the bones. And you need equipment. If you got a high wall that big, if you're in the middle of nowhere out in the forest, you would hand dig that.
Yeah.
But
if you can get heavy equipment to it
here, or if you're up in Montana, doing a ranch thing, you'd bulldoze off all the overburden over a big area. Because most of us just have small crews and small budgets, and while we can only work this site for a few weeks.
3 weeks in our case.
So uncover, an acre of the bone bed at once. You're just subjecting it to being weathered.
Right.
So there's no point in doing more than you can do at least in a few years.
Right.
And that's kind of what we did at Jim's place, except we abandoned it for the sauropod, and then underneath we got into this. And, so we really should go back there, weathering into the top.
I'd love to. Yeah, one of these days. Yeah.
Maybe later this season.
Oh, you think we might wrap
You don't find
Okay.
anything, in my mind, if you don't get anything decent to that high wall,
Yeah.
that would be my recommendation. And there, see how they do. Because when Karen was first out here working with us, we were working the sauropod level, trying to get more of it coming this way.
Yeah.
You know, we worked there, you know, it was when Ethan did that film. And we worked there 5 days, 7 days, you know, moving lots over bird digging, and we didn't find anything. And then we decided, I don't know why, but we moved over to Don's place, which was good because we found a lot of ankylosaur stuff. Expanded across the road, and but you know, there's a lot of stuff over there. You know, there's still bone coming out of the road. You know, we're driving over a bone bed. You know, to come in here.
Yeah.
You know, that mound coming off the road.
Yep.
You know, that goes right under there.
It's a special place, you know. Just got dinosaurs all over the
But it isn't
place.
just a layer. There's like one layer. It's
Uh-huh.
lenses. You know, there's one maybe coming in this way, and there'll be lots and lots of stuff, and then it'll thin out, spread out. You go away, or who knows? Maybe you come back again. You know, but it's not like, you know, over at Jim's place there's like 3 bone levels. You know, the uppermost one is pretty junky. The middle one's some good stuff. Bottom one is pretty good.
And it's just a result of it being too high in section.
Yeah, but
There's
it
roots
doesn't
coming down
correlate.
into it.
That doesn't just like correlate into this.
Yeah.
You know, it's part of the same interval. In fact, there, you know, like Don's place and even Jim's place, we were digging down on top of the chert beds, like solid beds of chert, the base of the quarry. In fact, we actually collected some thinking we had sacral shield elements.
Oh, cool, yeah.
This goes so bumpy, you know, it's like, and, you know, like, oh no, that's just silicified feed. You know?
Shoot.
The bone comes right down onto it. You know, and over there more we get chunks of silicified roots. You know, chunks, and we found in Don's place we had actual meshes of fine silicified roots going over bones. That's silicified in the quarry. And here we're really not seeing the chunks of silicified fern roots. We're getting little chunks, and as we've looked at them, realized these are actually coprolites, fern eaters, and that's what we're seeing is rubble in here.
So it's still plant material, but plant material that's been digested.
Yeah, it's been gone through a gut. You know, but there we get chunks of roots where you can look at the ends and see cell structure. You know, so this is a chunk of root that was silicified as a root, and then weathered into and reworked into this site.
Yeah,
you know, 'cause that's like sediment, air. You know, so fossilization, you know, I'm kind of amazed we haven't found any bone in here that at all silicified.
You say silicified, for those viewers who are not familiar with that term, what are we talking about?
Basically dissolved, you know, glass in solution, silica.
Okay.
You know, silicon dioxide.
So that means the bones are actually partially...
They're being, all the pore space
is being filled in
with silica.
With silica,
you know, microcrystalline quartz, you know, but, you know, it occurs in a bunch of different forms.
Gotcha.
You know, chalcedony and chert and opal and quartz crystals and things.
So when you get like opalized bones in places like Australia...
Glass is silica.
Yeah. So like the famous opalized plesiosaur from Australia, that's a similar kind of process.
It's silicified. They're filling the voids. So those are hollowed voids, and they fill them pure, you know, opal. Yeah. So you find a paddle, and it's just pure gem opal. You know, a jaw, first fossil platypus found in you know, the Cretaceous, with a jaw with 3 teeth, solid opal. Yeah. Teeth and the jawbone.
Let's got another question here. Let's see. By the time several centuries had passed, wouldn't there be significant erosion, revealing a whole new load of fossils?
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah,
not even centuries, just decades.
I know. I mean, years. I'm sure we missed a bunch of stuff. Yeah. If we were here a few hundred years ago. And I'm sure if no one touched this for a few hundred years, it'd be like no one's been here.
Oh yeah.
You know, so no one's prospected that area for 20 years.
Yeah.
That's very good shot. There's new stuff exposed.
I was thinking about this yesterday because we went out prospecting after dinner just around the corner from camp, and
an area that we haven't done much in 20-something years.
And we found some stuff. Like Ethan found a decent dinosaur there, iguanodont probably. But I was just thinking how many different dinosaurs are just underneath my boots right now. Like, you know, another couple years and they'll start to be exposed. It's all over the place, you know.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff here. I mean, you know, And the thing about this unit, the Yellow Cat, a lot of our discoveries are bone beds.
Yeah.
We find some bones and then we get digging and just realize there's lots more.
Yeah.
Where mostly in the Morrison, you get channel sands that are bone beds. But typically the floodplain, this is the marshy area in the floodplain. Sites like that are typically isolated skeletons. You don't have just so many of these bone beds that are in the fine-grained sediments as we have in Cedar Mountain.
Yeah.
But it's like bone bed on bone bed. One of them. A university, if it took over a site like this, they could work there for hundreds of years.
Sure. Yeah. Pretty cool. Run their
they
field
develop
camp
the whole
there.
program. Yeah, do it every year. And I think that could be the way of some of this stuff long term.
So if there were a university somewhere else in, I don't know, Maine or Alaska or something, and they wanted to have a paleo field camp, would they be able to work that out with you guys at the survey?
They basically would be, most of it's BLM land. So it'd be federal, stuff.
But if it were under your purview, if it were state land,
and then they'd have to work it out with the University of Utah.
Yeah.
I don't issue repository stuff. They could come out and dig with us. It's pretty easy.
Yeah.
And have the stuff all come back to a repository in Utah from state land, so people can work stuff. I know. Birmingham, is working with Josh Lively and the
Birmingham, Alabama. Yeah.
No, Birmingham, England.
Oh, Birmingham. Okay, yeah.
Richard Butler's group.
Oh, neat.
Is hosting SVP.
Yeah.
They've been digging at Lori's site a couple of years now.
I figured it was Birmingham, Alabama, because Josh Lively's from Alabama.
Yeah.
But no,
it's
Birmingham.
Also with the Natural History Museum of London. But they dig with him each season. It's a program. They're not sure they're going to be able to maintain it, which is sad. But they were trying to set up a program to bring the students over here to work on digs every year and get involved in the research. But the fossils will all go to the Prehistoric Museum long term.
Yeah.
But I've told those guys, there are ranches, that lease to private, commercial groups. It's like, you guys, Natural History Museum of London could, buy off like ranch land like they did with the Zuni bone bed.
Yeah.
They bought a site, and if London did that, they could have a place they could come and dig and bring it all home.
Yeah, every year they could come back.
I'm amazed that those institutions, instead they buy them from commercial dealers when they could just buy an area richly fossiliferous and do more legitimate research.
Conduct the excavations properly. So,
That's what I like to see happen.
Yeah. I agree.
I've brought up BLM meetings. The federal government, not on your life would we ever permit someone to take stuff out of the U.S. You do it controlled, and it's going to a museum that people in the U.S. could visit and do research. It's like, why not? And then maybe we can work in other countries more legitimately instead of being purely as colonialists. Like
parachute science.
We're going to go in, parachute in, take your stuff.
Yeah.
Do it. We're taking this stuff, we're sharing it, we're replicating all the important things. There's ways to do things, I think, that are expand collaboration internationally. Because fossils don't know national boundaries.
It's true. All this stuff was deposited long before the notion of nation states was ever conceived.
How does our stuff relate to Britain, where you could walk there by island hop, but you get into Britain pretty good through most of this interval. Spain and Portugal, very similar to this stuff. It's the Atlantic Ocean wasn't there. It was like I just look at that this patch in between them being like Indonesia, just all these islands, volcanic islands and things. And some very large with their own ecosystems. If there had been a fossil record, you could go in there and who knows, maybe there's some island systems that have subsided off the ridge with the opening Atlantic as it sinks in, that there are dinosaur faunas in the deep ocean that were,
unique
island plateaus along the rifting system at one point with faunas.
Yep. Cool to think about.
Come in and bury them.
Neat.
Yeah, it's hard to prospect it.
Yeah.
Shang-Chi Rise, I like, the evidence is that parts of that giant shield volcano were probably exposed above the ocean. And it was a big place, this giant, like, Galapagos thing in the middle of the, early Cretaceous.
Yeah.
What would live there? What would be evolving there? Were there giant early Inorthine plateless birds colonizing it?
I like this idea. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool stuff.
Cool to think about. Well, thanks, Jim. Yeah. Let me dig for a little bit over here, and then we'll see if we can interview James for a while. If you're cool with that, James.
Absolutely not. I won't be a part of this. Sam.
We'll do that in a bit, but I got to get some digging done. So let's do that. I got to drink some water too.
It's a big corner.
Yeah.
This corner.
We're into Enduza Gulch over here.
But I do think if we don't, I would rip down lower.
Yeah. Anyway, how's everybody doing in the chat? I hope you're all having a good day right now.
20 centimeters below anything we found here so far. If you look at that surface that he's milling on, it dips down and then it comes up again. It's not, we don't just blend, keep going.
So what's the best way to do this?
Pinch out, curve.
Let's put the camera over here.
1,000 miles, so you can't do that on land.
There we are. Son of Austerlitz says this is starting to look like a World War I trench. A bit more pleasant, I would hope. Yeah, I think a bit more carefully excavated too.
Gas here is going to be so
So what we got going on right here is, there's a bone right there. And it's in this upper layer that we're trying to dig through. And so what I'm going to do is kind of trench around this, get this exposed, we'll find the aerial extent of it, we'll jacket it, and we'll take it out. That's not going to happen on today's stream, but I can start working in that direction at least. Just trying to remove the rock, going in a loop around it. So, slow going work, but that's how it goes. Yeah. And, oh! Ed Simpson says, any more coprolites? Potentially, yeah. I found
2 little ones over there.
Yeah.
He's got a baggie there with 2 little ones in it.
Oh, do we?
Yeah.
Huh.
Fish or somewhere.
Oh, nice.
This? Yeah, give them to Danny.
Nice. Thanks, fish.
For the bag here too.
Oh, all right. Beautiful.
Pull them out.
So, again, very expensive, arcane, scientific equipment. This is called a Ziploc bag.
Got cell structure. I would like to see more of it.
But yeah, so this
These are worth keeping.
is either a root or a coprolite. Coprolites are fossil droppings, which it's not a joke. It's not anything to laugh at. These are really important scientific specimens. You can tell a lot
This kind of thing that, you
about the critters that are living in a given ecosystem if you look at what they were eating, and this is direct evidence of their diet. So, coprolites can be difficult to identify in the field, but here's the beautiful one that Don just handed me.
Fragments of copper.
Yeah. So, fossil poops can be remarkably informative because when you've got body fossils and you're trying to figure out, what these animals were eating, if you're just looking at teeth, if you're just looking at their gross morphology, it can be really difficult to tell what they're doing, But if you have their droppings, then you can figure out what they're eating. You don't have to speculate. And if you can actually figure out whom the coprolites came from, as Karen Chin, coprolithologist, would put it, find out who the poopatrator was, then yeah, you've got a solid idea about what that animal was actually doing in the ecosystem, what it's eating, what its ecological role is. Coprolites are important.
Like, ask Ed, does he got Karen working with him on it now?
Oh, yeah.
So you just ask him in the chat.
That would be really cool, yeah. Ed, is Karen Chin working on these? Because that would be super exciting. Yeah. Yeah. Sourdough says, what a nice name for it in the science world, not just poo-poo rocks. No. Yeah. Coprolite means,
Poo-poo rocks.
you know, it means poop stone. Yeah, it literally does. Yeah. Copros, which is like dung. Lithos is stone. So dung stone. Pretty neat. Thanks, Fish. I'll hand that back to you.
Yeah, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hammer.
And do fossils in amber also come grouped together in dig sites, or they're more randomly scattered? It depends. So, I don't think we have any amber from this site.
I've never seen a flake of amber here.
What about in the Cedar Mountain as a whole? Any amber?
No, Natarita, we got amber,
Okay.
but I don't know, and it may be preservational.
Uh-huh.
Because amber is an organic material.
I found a bunch of chunks of amber in the Almond Formation this year in Wyoming.
Oh, yeah.
Mostly pretty small.
But you got a lot of organic material preserved there.
Yeah. Yeah.
When the Zuni dig, we had lenses full of little blobs of amber.
So whether or not you get certain things at certain sites, it's not always dependent on just like what organisms were there. Sometimes they're there, but they just don't get preserved. So there were certainly trees here, and they were producing sap, but the chemistry just probably isn't right to get that sap preserved as amber.
We don't see like much every fossil wood in this stuff typically.
Yeah,
In fact,
yeah.
there's little bits of wood here that have cell structure. To be is very exciting.
Huh.
Most people wouldn't even think that this would be worth anything. But it's fragments of plant. But it does have cell structure.
Yeah.
Ed, 10 seconds.
And Barsh Oli says hello from Germany. Well, hello from eastern Utah. I hope you're having a good day. Or more likely, good evening where you're at. Oh, Neverwinter has got a question for Fisher. Fisher, how many krona for those copper lights?
Yeah, your eyes open for this stuff. Want to get a picture?
I can't swear on stream, so it's funny.
Yeah.
29 krona.
I
I don't know, this joke is running
lot,
thin. You guys are the only ones who think it's funny anymore.
A lot of story.
I still think it's funny. But I might think that it's, it's funny how it's not as funny.
And back about it in here.
Like, some of these things, like, they last a morning.
It's played out at this point, Fisher.
So, I love to entertain, so.
I appreciate that, yeah. You found anything good today? I saw you made a little jacket earlier.
Yeah, I just capped the little
Bigger bags.
amorphous blobs I found yesterday.
Uh-huh.
Nothing really since then.
Here, I wonder if I could set this up here. There we go, that's better. Nice.
Don, do we have any bigger sample bags?
Yeah.
I had a bunch, but I've used them all already. I want to wrap this stuff.
Yeah, I just feel like we have to do this first.
And these ants.
Wrap it. Yeah, I think I got some TP in here. Silk.
Oh, and Doc says we have looked at them together, him and Karen, I presume, Karen Chen. Center all my SEM
Yeah,
and thin section work. Nice. Very cool, Ed. Shoot, that's really exciting. Yeah, that's really neat. It's cool. Every time we talk about coprolites on stream, I usually bring up Karen Chin's work, and sometimes we'll watch a little video that features her. And knowing that she and you are working on these things is that's exciting. I'm sure it's exciting for the viewers to hear. Like, they know that name, Karen Chin.
Collaboration.
Yeah. You know, so Jim, Ed said, we have looked at them, I guess him and Karen Chin, together, center all my SEM and thin section work. So, cool. Yeah. Exciting.
Collaborate.
Yeah.
We all get smarter out of it.
And Shogo here uses, how do they determine what poop belongs to what critter? Is it primarily proximity to other fossils? Yeah, it can be really difficult.
Yeah, this stuff seems to be plant-based.
Plant-based, so...
It's an herbivore, but
yeah.
Very likely iguanodont.
Uh-huh.
But it's not impossible. It's ankylosaur stuff.
Seems kind of small for animals this big.
And you have boluses. You know, what's the biggest bolus from sauropod ever found?
Oh, I don't know.
Not that big.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like smaller than like a cow.
Yeah.
Think about deer poop, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Right?
Just little
They're
pellets.
They're not small, and they just have little rabbit pellets.
That's a good point, yeah.
So predators have bigger teeth.
They're gonna mess with them.
Damn it.
Yeah, herbivores come back.
More flavor.
Toilet paper. Need a table out here.
And, well, yeah, Mommy does, and Casey, yeah. Good answers there, but it's way trickier with extinct animals, because we can't really observe them in the process of pooping. And so, trying to match the fossil dung to the fossil critter can be really difficult.
I am not.
It's just, it's tricky, you know?
But I just don't have other ones. I have a pack.
But you can do things like figure out, well, this one's mostly full of plants.
Yeah.
Which plant-eating animals do we have in this environment? You look at their teeth and stuff. We've got a general sense for the broad diet of most of these critters. You know, if we're just talking about, you know, carnivore versus herbivore. But anything more specific than that can be tricky. And there you go, Tikage, yeah. By far the most science-based talk about poop I've witnessed all week. Yeah, that's what we're here for.
Yeah, this is the kind of stuff I'd expect to see after an iguanodont been chewing on conifers and breaking it up and little bits and pieces of it falling into the marsh. Shards of plants. Maybe shards of the cell structure.
And Ken wants to know, did the wind get bad last night, or was it a decent night? It was a really decent night, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely the wind was not an issue.
Just kind of a light breeze. Yeah. It's kind of beautiful, not too hot. I got really good sleep last night. Oh, and Nell says, if a coprolite is fossil poop, what is a fossilized vomit called?
Regurgitate.
Yeah, regurgitate.
Regurgitite, yeah. Yeah.
Or bromolite. Another name. We published on fish puke.
Oh, neat, yeah.
Yeah, you know that paper.
With the frog bones in it,
Frog
right?
and salamander bones.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of carnivorous fish. Clearly. Have you seen that figure from Tony Martin's book about the... It's like, oh, here's if a brachiosaur vomited and it landed on a small theropod. It's totally speculative. He's like, if you were to see that, evidence of that in the fossil record, this is what it would look like. And it's just like a dromaeosaur skeleton and there's a big splat around it. Just thinking about like how far that vomit would fall, like the velocity and the mass, like that could be fatal. It's an amusing idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if it's something that.
There you go, Casey. Yeah.
Someone can write a whole thing.
Uh,
All right, I'm gonna go there right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drive over.
Right?
So if there's a Eurolite out here. It's like, okay, well, tell me where it is. I'll
Yeah.
go and look.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I was looking it up recently because
So Ed,
my
few
colleague, who is not a paleontologist, right? But he really studies like,
ships
renal
of
physiology.
conifer wood, I think.
Just, we were
Huh.
chatting one time. and he
It's
was
not
like,
tempted, yeah.
"Do dinosaurs
Interesting.
create like urine or like urea? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Birds.
Yeah, because birds concentrated.
Oh, are you talking about that Eurolite paper?
Yeah.
The one from Brazil, I think?
Yeah, we're talking about urolites.
Yeah.
Person too, right?
Really?
I thought I heard there was one of them. Some in Brazil. See that?
Yeah.
That's
I
interesting.
mean, dinosaur?
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because ours is definitely an ammoid fish, we believe.
Oh, yeah. No, we're talking about
Okay.
Eurolites.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 I remember
So
we talked about that paper at the Dead Lizard Society meeting
Okay.
one time.
Yeah.
And there's a figure, I thought it was really funny, just like an ostrich peeing. Because ratites will actually produce urine. They don't produce the paste.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly.
yeah,
that
like
was sort
neonate
of-
birds do.
That's sort of what spurred the question. As I was saying, you know,
Yeah.
I have a colleague who's like a renal physiologist,
Uh-huh.
and he was asking me like, what was dinosaur? Like, did they have
Yeah,
urine? Did they
yeah.
have, like a urea paste like
Uh-huh.
birds? And I was kind of like, that's a good question.
Yeah.
And I was sort of thinking about it and looking up some papers, and the
That's
Eurolite thing came up, and I was like, yeah, I mean, it seems like there's some evidence for, like, you know, a less concentrated like urine kind of situation. Yeah. But I don't know.
I remember that
And I was
being
like, well, I mean, presumably they didn't have exactly like metanephric mammalian style kidneys. But,
Sure, yeah.
But I don't know.
That was an old idea for how dinosaurs kind of take over during the late Triassic and early Jurassic. That like, oh, Earth was really dry at the time, and they you know.
yeah.
Had some system for better like water.
Yeah, well, they
retention.
secreted
Give it
paste
that
rather
anyway.
than liquid urine, and that helped them conserve water. But that's, I don't think anybody buys that anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I think the beginning of the Jurassic is really wet. So.
Yeah. Well,
this?
that's yeah.
There's an idea. It may have been in one of David Norman's books a long, long time ago, but an idea that dinosaurs were able to kind of take over when they did, at like end of the Triassic, beginning of the Jurassic, because they didn't urinate. They produced like a paste instead, and that helped them thrive better in desert conditions with little water. And I don't think there's like any support for that idea anymore. I don't think anybody really buys that.
I mean, there's a lot of deserts, you know, Gondwana,
Sure.
but also at the end of the Triassic, there's,
Super wet.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's super wet at the base of the Jurassic.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Chinle, there's the equivalent to Chinle, there's plenty of desert.
Uh-huh.
It's just not in the petrified forest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Looking at it globally, I think the percentage of desert is pretty much the same.
Uh-huh. Well, it's a funny argument too that like, oh, well, they didn't produce urine because they're are based on those birds today, like ratites. They produce urine, you know. They don't do like the paste thing like neonate birds do. But I don't know. Anyhow. Oh, and Cherry Burns. No, so dinosaurs, like modern birds and crocs, would have a cloaca rather than like, you know, separate orifices like mammals do. So, yeah, cloaca is kind of an all-purpose rear orifice. That's for defecating and urinating and reproducing. Cloaca, I think, is what, Latin for sewer. But yeah, cloaca. It's a beautiful, beautiful word until you realize what it means, you know? Be a beautiful name for a baby.
Man, my knees hurt.
Okay. This is kind of, I can't tell from back here.
Yes. Tired of keeping pain.
And oh yeah, Casey. Yeah, they have a vent. It's
Yeah, that vent is the cloaca. Yeah. And Ricky says, what would the lifespan be of the new species you're digging? Well, we don't know. Yeah, we were actually just talking about that the other day. The natural lifespan of a non-avian dinosaur, there's lots of different kinds of non-avian dinosaur.
Different lifespan, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. It's a really diverse
like
group.
20, 30 years, these iguanodonts.
You think so?
Yeah.
Huh.
You know, they're generally, that's kind of the time frame you start looking at.
We seem to have, like, do they seem to be really old upon time of death, though, right? Like, at least we don't have many that have been actually sampled histologically that show that they're at, like, really advanced age. I think the oldest one is, like, it might be Meraxes, actually, the big Carcharodontosaur. It's like 48.
Yeah, but a lot of these, you know, we don't know for sure if they do get, all of them go into a generic stage, you know, where they have closed-spaced rings. You know, it may not be the case.
You mean like we wouldn't expect to see an EFS?
Yeah, that they're, you know, they just grow up to a certain point and like poop out, you know. Alligators, crocs, you know, they generally don't live, you know.
But they make an EFS, though. Like, their growth rings will get close enough together that...
Yeah, I just think some of these guys, 20, 30 years, yeah. And most of the ones we find are 10 and around there.
Huh.
10 to 15 is the most common font. They're big enough to find. You know, they haven't all died off. You know, the little babies are hard to find because they're little.
Sure.
The big ones, you know, there's not that as many. But yeah, I would say a 20, 30-year-old iguanodont would be a pretty old animal.
Right.
I think most people think that with Tyrannosaurs too, that 30 makes the most sense with what we know. You know. Sauropods, you know, very likely they're going well up over 100.
I think that the oldest sauropod anybody's actually sectioned was like, it was like late 30s, I think. Yeah. I mean, that's the problem. Is a few of these things have actually been cut, you know?
Yeah, because I've seen sauropod bone, like that cortical bone. Super fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Fine. I mean, you know, probably 20 or 30 lines of chunk that big.
Yeah.
I mean, from my guy Morcor. That big guy they got there. Yeah,
I wouldn't be shocked if they grow to be really old, but like it's just not been published from what I understand. Yeah.
Oh, that thing, yeah, just drill a core into one of the giant femurs.
Yeah. So maybe
giant humerus.
Somebody watching right now, you know, if you want to make a cool contribution to dinosaur paleontology after you grow up and get into this line of work, figure out how old these gigantic sauropods were when they died. That's something that's not really been done yet to the extent that it needs to be done. So, so many things there's still yet to be discovered.
Not going to fit them into a micro CT scan.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that new technology might be not in reach of those guys.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah. Let's see.
I'm feeling weird again. This disease. No, I didn't. I took my shot this morning. I had no medication. This is like, other than maybe an aspirin to make my heart beat. Pump it. I do my baby aspirins. The baby aspirin. Blood thin enough to don't get a stroke.
Looking for the bungee bones.
Oh, right behind you. On the, yeah. Let's see, James. Is this a good time to talk about your work? Cool. Okay. Yeah.
Why don't you find a comfortable place to sit so you can have the quarry behind you?
Let's do that.
Where would you want to put them?
Let's see. We could just try and sit over here, I guess, in the shade.
Okay.
Yeah.
Looking this way.
If that's good. Yeah. So,
this like this. Trying to find a stable position for the camera. That's not quite gonna work. Try like that. That should do it, I think. Yeah. Cool. Again, we're trying to do this with no infrastructure here. It's just a camera on top of a dirt pile. So bear with me, chat. It's a lot less polished than your videos.
Not really polished that much, trust me.
But yeah, everybody, we're joined once again by Jurassic James, who's here for a few days with us. And yeah, he does science outreach, so I thought this would be a cool opportunity to talk to him about that. And yeah, it's been cool just like comparing notes a little bit between what you do and what I do, and how it's different and how it's similar. But yeah, you want to just introduce yourself real quick to the audience? We've got 319 people watching right now. Not to make you nervous, but just
give the numbers. But Han Solo said, "Never tell me the numbers," you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So basically, I do unlike you, more public, not on video, in person talk.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
A lot of direct questions and things like that. So.
Yeah. At the Houston Museum of Nature and Science?
I worked there for 14 years. I went to the Children's Museum now.
No. Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah. Basically, when I was at the Houston Museum for 10 years, I was a head tour guide.
Nice.
For 4 years, I was like education outreach.
Uh-huh.
Like, I mean, it's a formal job.
Yeah.
And at the Children's Museum, I do science education. But on my own, I do my own talks and trips. And this is my own trip today. Like.
Awesome. Yeah. Have you been able to make any video content yet while you're out here?
I didn't know I was supposed to or not. Some days you do, but some of the days I've been on has been like no video, whatever. So I'll like just take pictures and I'll post things. But like I was planning on tomorrow, if I'm allowed to take a couple videos.
Absolutely, yeah. No, please do.
I'm not really live. I'm more like here's things happen kind of. So.
Yeah. It's neat that like when you're doing a tour live with people in person, you can kind of gauge their reaction in real time.
Yes.
Which is not as easy to do when like this is your only window into like what people are thinking or saying is what they're typing into the chat.
That's why I don't envy you. And if live, COVID came, so we were doing videos online, and I had to record things and I remember when I'm talking to like a comedian, like you're talking to a crowd, you can go play this like that.
Exactly.
It was a screen, and at least you had that. It's like I guess this will work. And posted and I talked to people and they're like, that was great. I'm like, oh good, those jokes landed, you know?
Exactly, yeah. Oh, we're good.
Okay, so it's collapsing.
So again, live broadcast, anything can happen. So where can people find you online right now if they want to go follow you?
So basically it's Jurassic James 65 on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Blue Skies. It's the same.
Nice,
Facebook.
Okay, yeah. Cool.
I haven't posted on YouTube in a while. I've been coming out here, so from Texas. So.
Well, you say in a while, you mean like within the last couple weeks?
Yeah. No, Because
shoot, when I was doing YouTube videos way back in the day, it was like maybe once every 3 months I would post a new video or something, and that was like rapid for me. It's why I was never very good at YouTube.
When I would go about a month, people would try like, "Hey, where are you?" What's going on? Or I've had people whose wives work with me, and they're like, "Hey, my husband hasn't heard from your video." I'm like, "Oh, okay, well, I should start cranking out
a wellness check."
Yeah, like you know, I'm here, you know. But okay, good point.
Yeah. So when you were doing live tours of the museum in Houston, what were some of the most common questions that you would get? And how did you try and... Because sometimes those questions can go a little into left field.
Yes.
How would you turn those back around to make it a bit more productive, actually teach people something?
Usually when people ask the question, I was really going to laugh, as you said. I would, you know, instead of saying that's wrong, no, I would say, oh, I see what you're saying. And I would just start saying, you know, I had this one dad who would literally, I was like, this, and then he would go like this opposite wrong information, or he start saying before I would speak at every stop, and he would say like, this animal ate plants. It's like a T-Rex, and I'm like, and so I was like, so this is Tyrannosaurus Rex, and they're known for, you know, the bite marks and Triceratops. But like, I didn't say it was wrong, but I just like, here's facts. And then people, I remember his kid was like looking at him like, wait a minute, you know?
He's realizing something about his dad. He's like, maybe I can't trust everything he says.
That was a really fun. But usually, it's just I like to hear people's ideas and say, where are you coming from?
The
example I give is Spider-Man versus Superman.
Okay.
So remember, spoiler. When Stacy's falling, Spider-Man grabs her, he catches her. I'm not sure how nerdy your audience base is.
More so than me, probably.
Okay, got
so
it.
yeah, I think you're probably. What do you think, Chad?
You're like, what's a Spider-Man? No, just kidding.
No, yeah.
I get it. But the thing is, he grabs Stacy and she snaps her neck because he too much. So he's trying to stop her, and she's suddenly being pulled to stop.
Okay.
Superman, Lois Lane's always falling from something. And he matches her speed, grabs her fluffy, and then changes direction.
Okay.
And so when people have these questions, and I'm like, okay, that's ancient alien, that's lizard people, that's freedom is your right. But I said, but here's the thing, like, we found this bone in like Montana. We see this thing, so like that. Yeah. So I don't say they're wrong. I just will say like, here's the established information.
So is that Spider-Man or is that Superman?
That's Superman. I do Superman. Very much. I slow down to their level, and then I say okay, and I go like, we should go this direction. Whereas Spider-Man's like, no, that's not a thing. I'm not going to do that because if you say no, people's walls go up, and so
yeah, exactly.
And because at that museum, customer service was tied to the tour guide.
Yeah,
being knowledgeable wasn't alone. It was you must be friendly and
exactly. Yeah, that's your job. Yeah,
and so that was a big part of that for me.
So what kind of experiences in your life kind of set you up to be able to do that? Because clearly you were getting paid to do this. Like it's something you're very good at.
And still am on my own.
Yeah,
actually. So,
nice. Yeah,
I'm surprised.
Yeah,
I think the first thing I would say, and I took geology because in Houston, paleontology is geology and biology, and geology is oil, and biology is medicine in Houston. And I was like, I don't want any money, and so I chose the middle ground. And so I took a geology class, and I took biology first. The professor was like, you should be the department head of geology. The late Tom Holmes. And I took his class, and I was just like, this is cool. And so he was like, and one day he hired me to be a tutor, a supplemental instructor, and a lab assistant.
Nice.
I went to him after I got the class grade, and I was like, can I help you? And he's like, here's 3 jobs. And I was like, oh, cool. And so that's
nice.
how I got in. So and I was like, wait, I can talk about science and tell nerd jokes, and people were excited, and they, everyone's winning. And that was kind of my kickstart in this area.
Yeah,
I mean, we all like dinosaurs growing up, but like that was like, oh, this is a career path. It's not just
because that's the most difficult leap to make is from something that you're passionate in, like. I'm good at this. I'm passionate about it. How do I actually get paid for it? Yeah. So that was kind of where the road veered in that direction for you.
Yes, I
that's really
talk
cool.
a lot and tell stories. I used to we'll be digging, and I'm like,
yeah.
So I realized like I should talk. And people, when I tell stories, I'm being very nice and friendly to them.
Yeah.
But I tell kind of weird jokes and stories, not inappropriate, but just kind of weird different perspectives.
Yeah.
And people were like, like I mentioned the Spinosaurus being destroyed in World War II. I was like, the Nazis caused destruction of Spinosaurus. And someone was like, what do you mean by that? And I was like, well, here's Ernst Stromer. And that hooks them in, and you're like, oh, okay, here's a story.
Yeah.
So I kind of do that. It's like I call it shock and awe teaching. It's something so weird that you're like, oh, I remember.
You really get somebody's attention, and then
they're kids,
they're eager to hear what you're going to say next.
How does this end?
Yeah. So speaking of that, like getting people's attention and then leading them into like a lesson there, people are, I think, going to be really excited that you're out here in the field doing all this digging and everything. What sorts of lessons are you excited to bring back to your audience? Now that you've got that hook that like you were doing field work out here.
All of the above, because it's kind of like what Jim says. Like it's not just like digging; it's also the way the field works, the way that the people in the field interact with each other. Like these are all things I'm like sound wave and transformers, absorb information the whole time. Okay. And so people are gonna ask me. I look forward because I like the random questions. Like Q&A is the best part of the lecture for me. Yeah. Like here's information for you. What questions do you have? Because it tells me one, where should I be looking to talk to next? Like somebody saying, a lot of people ask about Utah a lot. I tell them Utah has like all these fossils here. It's really important. So coming here, I can gladly go like, I've been to the mountaintop and I can show you these concepts, these pictures and things. And so I'm looking forward to kind of telling that story. Because I'm from Texas, so even though we're not that far away worldwide, but like it's far away to people. Like some people don't leave their city sometimes.
And so, Texas is a huge state.
Yeah, you could drive 13 hours and still be in Texas.
Exactly.
I did that a couple of days ago. Yeah. I'm going to do it again in a couple of days, But yeah, so I'm looking forward to telling those stories and just explaining things on like a first-hand account. Because a lot of times, like I told you before, I feel like a reporter for paleontology. Like I do things, but like, and I talk to these guys who do it more than I do and go like, here's what's going on, here's what I kind of translate for them.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. And on that same token, talking about Q&A, I'm going to see if we've got any questions for you, but I also want to encourage chat. If you have any questions for Jurassic James, let us know, and we'll have him answer them live for you. But, let's see here.
They're just like, can we put
Carver says, what's the biggest misconception about dinosaurs?
They don't exist.
Really? So you get a lot of that.
I get a lot of that, and some of it is the people. Some will just found me like, hey, some of it I can tell you're thinking this and they don't want to say it. And so part of the customer service thing is like, I want to, the question behind the question, I want to know what you're,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I can see them kind of going that line. And what I would do in my tours is that I want to talk about everything for 17 hours, but I know we only have an hour. So I notice that what questions are being asked the most, I'll bake them into the tour. So I just kind of, so people start asking questions for a while on tours. But in talks, I would see that, how do you, their lives are so busy, they're not looking at dinosaurs every day like we do. And so, and I'm like, I've been there. If they were not real, if there was conspiracy, I'd be the first to be like, "This is a thing." I mean, cause but like I'm looking at the evidence. I'm going to these cool places. Like this is clearly a thing. Like it's a lot of work to lie about this. And I mean,
way too much work.
We're out here like digging in the sun. It's windy at night. We're not really showering that much. That's a lot of effort to trick people. And that's the people like, "Oh, you paleontologists, you make so much money. You're getting big paleo. We're really just rolling in like luxury houses." It's like, no, this is a passion field. People are excited about this, and we're finding cool things. And I found a pebble next to a fossil. The fossil's important to have in the bag, but this pebble was deposited that it was years ago. That's cool.
That is really neat.
This is just a silica, but like this thing there was dinosaurs walking, and one died next to it was a plant. That's a cool story. And so when people tell me like, how do you know they're even real? I'm like, let's go back to that point. And Superman, we slow down with you and go, well. The Earth is a little older than we thought. They'll say, well, how old? 6,000 years old. Do you know why people think that? They go, no. Then I tell them why they think that. And they go,
Bishop Usher.
So I get October, whatever. And so, and I think when I do that, instead of just saying you're an idiot, I just go like, here's what you think this thing.
Exactly.
Here's where it comes from. I know what you think where it comes from. But here's what I think. Here's what I've experienced and seen it, Rick. If you say like, I'm right, you're wrong. Here's what the evidence suggests. Like that's the way of
right. Yeah. And you're building rapport with them too. Like there's that old phrase that like nobody cares what you know until they know. No, nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. It's like we're emotional creatures as human beings. Like you have to get somebody to like relate to you before they'll actually trust you and absorb information that you're giving them, that kind of thing. So
I had a situation where peers of mine, different world career, they had a very hostility fighting a lot of, and I never had that. And I think when I will go in, like I'm very much like, here's what this is. Here's the outline of it. Like the analogy with my wife, I said there was no like, are we dating or not? Like, you're my girlfriend. Here's a promise ring. Here's an engagement. Like, there's no. We know the titles are all clear. And when I do it, like evolutionary talks, I'm like, look, I mean, I tell people, if you don't want to believe this, freedom is your right. That's Optimus Prime would say.
Sure.
But I'm here to show you these things, and you can take what you want from it. And you may not get them to understand or accept it then, but you've not attacked them. You said, here's some food. You don't have to, if you're hungry, you can eat. You don't have to eat. It's just some nice food. And some water and some whatever you drink, wine. And then just leave it on the table and walk away. And so if they take it, I never know. But it's better to be the person who told them, here's this cool thing to consider. I see your belief. Than the person who's going, you're an idiot. And like throw papers at their face, So that's just my perspective.
So like to mix metaphors, it's almost like planting a seed where it's like, maybe it'll take root, maybe it won't. But here it is.
I've done my part by telling him something.
Exactly.
I didn't say nothing or walk away. Or, I'm ideological like that. Sorry, that was a long answer.
No, it's great.
Just kept rambling on.
This is a long form kind of platform.
That's right. You keep telling me that. I think I'm learning from him. I'm like, I told you yesterday, like with Anakin and the Emperor. It's like, how do you learn of this power? This platform you're doing here. How
I love the analogies. I could see. And I bet your audiences really appreciate that too.
The Star Wars, the Transformers, it's a lot of my, I think at the Houston Museum, we had a video of it, and the video, they put the wrong video up. And I was like, this is the wrong video. Like, how do you know? Directed, I know it's the wrong video. And so they said, oh, well, for a minute. And so later on they were like, your fans are the best fans. I said, why? And it's because they're cool with stuff. I was like, you can't be my fan and not be like kind of fun and nerdy. Like you can't be like uptight and follow Dragon. Like I'm gonna do the Transformers reference every other minute. And so, tied to dinosaurs, but somehow. And so that's anyway. So
I like that, Well, let's see if we got some other questions. I'm sure we do. Let's see. Scrolling. Sorry, there's a lot of messages.
Like, what is that thing? We want Jim. James is blocking Jim from our vision.
We've got kind of a not broad, very specific question about dinosaur physiology. And we could talk about this together. What level of blood pressure would dinosaurs like Brachiosaurus or Sauroposeidon have to pump blood all the way up to their brains. They must have had a huge heart. Yeah, you run with that one if you want to.
No, you do that one. You've dug more sauropods than I have.
No, I've barely dug sauropods at all.
I thought you. Oh, okay.
Not really. No, I've not done a lot of work.
I did meet all of you like 2 days ago.
Yeah, it's true.
And so I'm like learning your background like that. So that's a fair thing.
I mean, I would say that that kind of goes into a debate about sauropod dinosaurs. Like, at what angle did they hold their necks?
Yeah.
Brachiosaurus in Jurassic Park, it's like straight up. Like
it's straight.
Yeah, and not every sauropod worker thinks that they were doing that. So if it is held a little bit straighter out in front of them, that wouldn't be as much blood pressure necessary to reach, to reach their brain like that.
What's that picture of the head being blown off and the blood pressure? I can't remember the.
Oh yeah, where was that from?
Yeah, where was that from? I can't remember that.
Where like they bend down too fast, it just pops.
And you're like,
they must have had some sort of adaptation to prevent that, because these guys would have to bend down to drink water.
But giraffes, like I always look at things like that. I mean, I've obviously read papers, but just look at I mean, I always tell kids like look at modern animals.
Yeah.
Because dinosaurs people think they're monsters. That's the other thing too.
Yeah.
They see them as monsters. I'm like, no, they're animals. I remember I had a talk, and this guy was not rude. He was just like, animals? No, they're monsters. And I'm like,
he said that?
Yeah, he wasn't being rude. He's just like, in his head, they were just like the boogeyman. I don't know what monsters are to people, but like Godzilla, or
Yeah.
And so I'm like, no, these are just other animals that once lived.
Yep. Yeah.
Just a different time. Some of them a little bit bigger, a lot of them were smaller than And I remember just for him that was like, oh, okay,
Yeah, that's like a revelation. Like, whoa, this is different. Interesting.
Yeah,
Learning something.
That's one of the things. Like, that's a great question. But the thing is, I want to go in more detail usually, but I get a lot of that question. Not that.
Yeah.
Your question was deep. I get a lot of like, how do you even know they exist? How do you know this rock does? Like,
so that shows that what you're doing is really, really important, because if this is the first time that anybody's being exposed to the idea that yes, dinosaurs are real, like that's really, really important what you're doing. Like, holy cow.
Well, I mean, I'm kind of been not relegated, but I'm being sucked into fundamental entry stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I was in a space exhibit, and someone from the sun, I said, the sun's a star. This guy was like, no, it's not. And I was like, the sun's a star. Yeah, he is. He goes, no, it's not. I'm like, well, we orbit it, so it's more important to us. And he was like, so like, yeah, and he's like walking with his hand on his chest. He was like, oh wow.
He's making this connection that every star that he sees in the night sky is kind of like our sun.
Yeah.
It's like, it's that big.
Yeah.
But just very far away. That's huge.
And so to me, and sometimes these situations after it happens, I go like, wait, that was something. That person, like you saw it, but And so that's something that I keep getting like pulled towards. Is that this introductory fundamental science stuff. Anyway,
that's cool. When I was at Dinosaur National Monument a few years ago, I was one of the rangers there. Shout out to Tiff at Dinosaur National Monument. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not cool at all. I'm just like,
don't stop saying that. You totally are cool.
No, when people like do cool terms, I'm like, I have no. I just like I'm openly nerdy, and people are like, that's fun. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Just be yourself. Yeah. Like, whatever.
Being cool starts work. But go on. Sorry.
I don't know. Twitch is just about being real. So like, people appreciate. If they like you, they'll watch you. It's like you don't have to pretend to be anybody else. It's one of the reasons why I like this platform so much. It's like I don't have to pretend at anything.
We want more pretentiousness now. Why aren't you wearing a three-piece suit out there, sir?
Exactly, yeah. But yeah. Shout out to Tiff, ranger at Dinosaur National Monument. She told me this story about one of her first years working there, right in front of the big fossil wall. And she said there is this like middle-aged elderly man, and he's just sitting there and he's like weeping. And she goes up and she talks to him. She's like, "Sir, are you okay? Like, can I do anything for you?" And he turns to her and goes, "They're real." And she goes, "Oh, so it turns out, because they got to talking, he was from Hawaii, and he was there, I think, on the Big Island when they were filming some of the scenes for Jurassic Park.
Okay.
And so he worked on the crew or something like that. He's like, oh yeah, some big Hollywood film. He probably saw the movie afterward, and but just kind of associated dinosaurs with Hollywood magic, like kind of assumed that they were monsters or something, or, that they were less than real to him is the point.
They were Frankenstein and Wolfman. They were just another version of that.
Exactly, yeah. And then to actually see those bones there in the rock completely changed his world to the point where he was in tears. And that's a magical moment. And you're doing the same thing for people.
See, that's the thing I was just talking to Jim and Dr. Kirk and Dr. Poole. I was saying how I want to do certain things, but people don't know these basic things, and I'm like, this is concerning for me, just as like a person. It's like okay, if we, how can I be excited about this one weird frill thing when majority of people like in my state are like, well, how do we know? Or not a majority, but
enough people where you're encountering them all the time.
Yes, and in many of them I can tell. Watching a crowd, someone asks a question, and 10 people are like, "Oh yeah, okay, yeah," like that. You can tell they're asking it too,
Yeah.
And so that's something that to me is like, okay, I'm trying to get pushed more. I think like the pool said, you're getting pushed more towards this public engagement even more so. And I'm like, yeah, I know, I'm seeing this more and more. So, but it's just something that, like I told you yesterday, I'm excited because I drove here through the Rocky Mountains. Yeah. Amazing. I had such a great time. Like, look at that, look at that, look at that. Like that. And, if I didn't know that stuff, I'd be like, oh, rocks, mountains, I know how the vegetation changes. Those are just little things that my training is like, oh, this means something. Why is the road doing this? You just can't go that way because, gravity's a thing. People sometimes question that. So, anyway.
But like this idea that like knowing something about a subject enhances your appreciation for it, where it's like you're not just cruising through and ignoring it, like everything is kind of magical all of a sudden because you've got some level of understanding there. And yeah, that's something we talk about all the time, and it's really cool that you're helping people develop that. It's important, So
I always say scientists are just children who never grew up.
It's kind of true in a lot of ways, yeah.
Middle school beats us out of us with puberty and cruelty, and then, so if you survive that, you still like wonder all things. You're going to be a scientist, right?
Yeah.
And so I try to get people, and like I said yesterday, like we are doing what we do. They're doing real jobs, not real jobs, but that's what we do is not real, but like they're doing much more like, to me, your career versus job. A job is what you have to do to make ends meet, right?
Sure.
And so they're doing these things. So when they come to us and go, question, like I don't get mad. I'm like, it is my duty to tell you these things.
Exactly.
This contract you said, contract you make saying I owe you, then you will understand things better.
Yeah.
You'll teach your children.
And I think to a certain extent too, like when it's something that we do because we're passionate about, we're really lucky to be able to do this. Yeah. Most people don't get to do that, and so we kind of owe a debt to society in a way where like we should do our jobs to the best of our abilities and also help teach people about this, share it with them, Not everybody's as lucky as we are, so like being able to give back is really important.
You're so right, because I just remember something. When I was first being a tour guide, I never mentioned that I did digs. I just feel like, here's information,
Yeah.
And I remember it was funny because at one point someone goes, well, how do you know that? And usually I explain everything, but I think I was going short on time. Yeah. I said, oh, I've been to that site. I've done it was the Whiteside Museum in Seymour, Texas. I worked with them too. And I was like, oh, I've been to that site with the director, and I saw this and I uncovered it. And they were like, oh, so you've actually dug things up. And I was like, is that important? And I didn't realize for the public, my earlier job was like at a college teaching geology students. So I was like, oh, this is important to explain that I've also done it myself, not teach it like this thing that happens in the world. Yeah. And I remember this one lady said, I met a different tour. She was like, the most magical experience I've ever had was digging up a natural bone. And I had done it before. I'm like, oh, I mean, it's fun too. It's still fun for us, but like the way she said it was like, I can't explain the emotional impact. She was like, I found. And she was like, pause. And I was like, oh, what I do is kind of different.
Yeah. And when it's something that's so outside of her normal experience, she will remember that forever. And that's so cool. I mean, it's sometimes kind of easy to get jaded about stuff like this. Like, oh, here's another iguanodont rib. Like,
that's ridiculous. Throw it in a pile.
But like, yeah, most people don't get to experience that, and the fact that we do is really cool, and we should be really grateful and try and give back. But also, it's important, I think, to hold on to that sense of wonder, as much as we can, so that we can share that with people too.
What's like yesterday we were in the Jeep, I was in the back and bouncing down, and you're all like, are you okay? I'm like, this is exciting. And you're like, exactly. I was having a great time. You're like, why are you so happy? Because I can tell people, and I get, one of my old bosses would say, she didn't want to say boring, but she's like, you can take the most minute thing and make people excited about it. Yeah. And I was like, if I tell people a story of like meeting you, being in Avantia, bumping around like that, that's gonna be really cool. And we do little microfossils, and they're like, and you think I'm just telling a story, like, but people, I've had people like literally sit down, like, not a joke, but like we went to not Uvalde, it was Utopia, Texas during the eclipse last year.
Oh, cool.
And I did these little walks up the hill and talk about fossils. And I remember literally, we got top of the hill, and I was like, here's the geology of the area, here's what it means. Okay, well, your next event's coming up, you should probably go down. Like, no, just keep talking. I'm like, oh, about what? Like, anything, history, whatever. I'm like, oh, cool. And I joked to my family, I was like, it's like Jesus on the mountain. I was sitting on this mountainside in the desert, just talking to people, and I was on this big rock, just like, and they're all just sitting around. Like, that was like the best thing ever. Yeah. And they were just like, we had so much fun, and they were like, I was like, cool, this is what I just read anyway, and do it anyway. And they were like, tell us more, explain this. And I was like, okay. You asked for it, so anyway, yeah.
No, I appreciate that. You mentioned yesterday being in the vehicle, because we went out to a microfossil site a few miles down the road. Many miles down the road, actually.
And, 20 minutes now, yeah.
And we didn't have enough seats in the vehicle, or didn't have enough of them set up properly. And so, we're like raring to go. We're trying to get there before the sun, gets hot, and we're all miserable. And James is just like, "Oh yeah, I'll sit in the back of the truck. Back of the truck. Don't worry about setting up a seat." And we're like, "Okay." And I don't know. For some of us, like, we might grumble a little bit at having to do that. And you were just so gung ho about it. I'm like, that reminded me of when I was just starting off in fieldwork. Yeah. And it's like, I'm willing to put up with any hardship, any discomfort, whatever, just to be out there. And it's important not to lose that, Like, sometimes some of us lose that sometimes.
But you've done way more than I have.
Yeah, but it's an attitude thing, though. Like, I could be better about this attitude-wise.
Okay.
And
okay.
so I appreciate
that's your own critique. As an outsider, I'm like, you seem great, but okay, if like, no, I suck. I'm like, oh, you're the expert, I guess. No, but but also you do it obviously all the time, but I'm also I have a list of people I know that as soon as I touch base in Houston, they're going to hear what I explain. Like, and it's almost like I feel like an unworthy. Like, you guys do way more than I do, but I'm just like, yeah, here's what happened. My coworkers, everyone I'm going to run to for the next month will be like, what was it like?
Yeah.
What did you do? And so like that to me, every experience matters, and so. It's almost like I'm experiencing this on, like, here, they're doing through me. They're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So for me, it's like, yeah, I'll sit down anywhere. I'll do this. I'm going to get tortillas for you guys later on. I know, like, and they were like, oh, you don't have to. I'm like, I want to. You guys are very nice, So, but I'm also not
appreciate
person,
that.
So,
yeah.
We're only on Earth for a short time. And we should know. We more than anyone can know this. And so, make people happy, have fun, enjoy. Like, not everyone can afford to do this.
Absolutely.
I was very lucky that a couple people funded. They bought stuff from me. It's like, hey, come do a talk. X money, come do this trip.
Nice.
Not everyone can do that, right? And so to me, I owe my constituency. Like, I have. That's really how I see it. Like a senator or congressman for my person. Like, you are like that too, obviously. And it's like
we are public servants in a way.
Yeah. And so, but we don't take. Never mind.
Don't take bribes. I'll say it.
I don't want to say. I don't know. I don't want to say anything here. I'm like, we don't take bribes. Like certain people, we take money from you guys to fund what we do, and we tell you what we find.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah. To a rabbit hole. But anyway.
But yeah.
But that's how I feel, and that's why I'm so excited about everything. It's like everything I'm doing. I just like minute things. I'm like, take a picture of that. And I'm like, sure. I'm like, I'm using a PowerPoint in like 4 years or 2 years.
Absolutely,
next month,
yeah.
And so people can, I've seen people. I remember I was at another museum and they had like little float pieces, and they're like, here, take these. We don't need them. And I'm like, oh, sure. All the laws. I'm like, no, this is not it. And so I remember my friend was like, you're gonna take that and make some child like, I'm like,
little pieces of dinosaur bone. He's talking about, float is what we call it.
And I've had it's like, here's a piece of float, you can hold that. And they go, I can't touch that. And like,
touching a real dinosaur bone, like, that's going to blow some kid's mind. Like, he'll be talking about that for years, potentially.
So that's to me the goal. Which is weird, but it's just I want to make more people, I want to offer people information, more experiences, more people.
Yeah. And on that same token, this video is going to go up on YouTube afterward. I've got my very loyal and beloved editor, Claire, is going to put this up on YouTube. If you want to take any clips from that and use it in your own stuff, you're absolutely welcome to do that.
And not be copyright infringed,
not at all.
Like filming or something.
So it's all good. It's all good, yeah. So just if you want to. I know you're not getting a ton of video content out here, so if you want to use any snippets or anything, you're 100% free to do it.
I'm like I said, kids, the children.
Yeah.
So someone asked me something when I went to go dig in Indianapolis Children's Museum in Wyoming. My friend invited me up there, and when we got to the dig site, day one, I'm standing like this, like, well, like I did here. What do we do? How do we do it? Which tool should I use? And later on, he's like, you have led stuff. I'm like, I am a guest on this site. I want to make sure I'm everything by, like you go there to eat them, Like so.
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
This is like the one in America, That's the whole point of traveling. So for me, it's like whatever you guys need to do. I'll move the buckets. I'll do whatever because that's what you're, I want to contribute to your greater work, So
no, we really appreciate that. It's like an awesome attitude to have. So,
is that not common for you?
It's I wouldn't say it's not common, but it's cool to have somebody just come out and say that. Like
that's my thing. Is I just say it.
Yeah.
My favorite example of this is when the revolution broke out, American Revolution, and George, all these French people coming over wanted to be officers in the military. And George Washington was so annoyed by that. And Lafayette comes and he's like, "Oh, there's another one too." And Lafayette's, "No, I want to learn from you. I want to hear what you're doing. And Washington was like, oh, this is, you're not going to tell me how I should be doing as a dumb American. You're going to learn how I want to do things. And I'm like, yeah, that's how you should just approach anything you're joining onto.
Yep.
And even when I was like a manager of tour guides, I would still have like an open forum, like, here's what you need to do. Here's what I suggest. What do you guys think? Because I understand people who have different experiences, backgrounds, have understandings that we don't have. I came here. I'm here. Like everybody. I'm gonna learn everything I can from you in like 4 days. I've learned a lot from you already.
I appreciate that. Shoot, I've definitely learned some things from you too.
Superman analogy and the Spider-Man thing.
That's I'm gonna remember that.
That's something. It's how I deal with customer service. Is like how you. My old boss. I used. That's why. What do you say? Is that I would get a comment. It was angry comment, and I'd call him like that, and they'd be all happy and want to give us money. And I'm like, how do you do that? I'm like, well, I care about people, and I care about the museum, and I care about science, and those things triangulate. And I just talk to them, and they'll just yell at me for 25 minutes, and then go, okay, well, we can do this for you. And I go home and cry. No, I'm kidding. But it's just like if you have that caring about everything involved, you can make. And so it's like,
you show people how much you care, and then they care about how much you know.
I mean, when people get mad, I remember I would meet their anger level. Not like I would be angry, but like, they're like, this is an outrage. I'm like, I know, And then I would tell you, because like if someone's angry and you're like, calm down, that's gonna make them angrier.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so I would always, whatever their energy level, I would meet them. Usually with kids, I go more energy because it's kids, and attention spans are short. But usually with the adults, I can do that. So anyway, are there any more questions? I don't know.
Let's see. Let me check in. I'm sure we've got some, but they might be a little bit difficult to find in here. There we go. Thank you, Claire. Question from Kennedy 104. James, being from Texas, were there any wow moments traveling to other places for digs? Houston being such a big open city compared to where so many digs are.
Wow as in because I've seen it on a dig, or wow as like just traveling and seeing something?
I think either, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, for me, the biggest thing is if you drive in Texas for 12 hours, you're still in Texas. It's so flat. Like the first day going up north, it's just flat. It's just flat. And then I think when I was it was this one area, Eastern Colorado, sorry. This is one area that was like grass, and like one train. And I told her I just screamed the entire time. I was like, there's a drug. But I like mountains because I associate mountains with rocks and fossils. So it's like that's I literally, how like they say when you're married, you see your spouse and your blood pressure, like whatever. Like when I see like looking down, I'm like, yes,
there's fossils here.
This is yes. And I also have a
tectonic uplift.
Yeah. So to me, all these things are like yes. So I would say that with other states, I think I touched it with Wyoming. That as a Texan, Wyoming is what people think Texas is.
Cowboys,
like
cattle,
and we are those things. But we have like these giant cities that are not those things. Like,
Wyoming is like the entire state is like that.
It's that,
Wild West.
Yes.
Yeah.
My favorite. Colorado, they charge for like grocery bags.
Okay.
So my wife is very
frugal.
Not rural. I don't know the words we're going to use for that. I want to learn everyone's experience. I want to. I meet people like, what is your life like in this other part? And she's interested, but like I remember when I knew that they did that. Yeah. We were in a store going up to a dig. And we got some groceries, and the people were like, "Well, how many do you need a bag?" And she's like, "Yes, of course." And I realized what was going on. They're going to charge her for that bag. And she's like, "How many bags do you need?" And she's like, "And in Texas, they'll give you like 50 bags for like a piece of." It's like and so I remember where she's like, "Wait, why are you asking me this?" And she goes, 10 cents per bag. And I was like, "It's okay. Different state, different laws." It's like, and she was just like, a bad thing. It was just like but like I said, other than Utah, just the topography is different. Like I came from Colorado to Colorado, and I just saw I like the change of each state. I mean, yes, they did draw lines a long time ago, but like you can see this area is a very different area. People were very different in the area, so that's really fun to me.
That is really neat. Yeah. Another question here for James. I'm curious, what percentage of people ask if dinosaurs are real, versus basic questions versus advanced questions? I'm interested in what the museum's demographic looks like the museum going public.
I would say that are they real? Well, that's what some people self-select enough to come in the museum. That's one factor.
So that's what I was wondering about. Is like if you have people who have made the effort to go to the museum with the fossils and then ask, "Oh, are these?" Like, are dinosaurs not are these fossils actual fossils or are they replicas? But ask, are dinosaurs
real in general? that
For every person who goes into the museum and asks that question, there's probably 10 people who didn't. They would never think to go into the museum in the first place, right?
Yeah, and so that's
Yeah.
one factor.
Yeah.
I would say the ones who think that I can kind of either, if asked directly, I've seen them looking in the audience.
Yeah.
I would say less than 10%, somewhere around maybe 5%.
Okay.
Or just like
we'll actually ask that question.
yeah.
Yeah.
As far as the basic questions, I would say, also just
Yeah.
I would say like 30%. What that's like.
Yeah.
Just basically like what each of these is like. So I remember I was doing
Yeah.
a tour once, and there's a place called Dinosaur Park near Bastrop, Texas. That has these big models of dinosaurs.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was
Shout out Dinosaur Park.
Yeah.
I've had some viewers go there and take pictures for me. It's really cool, yeah.
Just a little side note there.
Yeah.
I would go to Hill Country for geology tutoring, my professor and the students.
Yeah.
And every year I see the sign going Dinosaur Park. Hey, can we go there one day? He goes, oh, next year.
Uh-huh.
And then my wife's like, you're an adult with a truck. You can just drive there. I'm like,
There you go.
you're right,
Yeah.
So I just went there and just went around. And I was so excited about it. And I went to the owners. Like, can I bring people here? And they're like, what? And I'm like, oh, here, I'm Dressa James. I'm from Houston. Can I bring people here? And they're like, of course, it's a private business. I'm like, yes, of course. So,
Yeah.
and so, I love that place. It's really great. Sorry, I can't remember what I was saying before that. What was it? What was that?
It was about basic versus advanced questions?
Yeah. So I was doing a tour there, so I do tours with them too sometimes.
Yeah.
And it was a Stegosaurus, hacky with the
Yeah.
And I was talking about this environmental thing, and then someone goes, "Does it eat plants or meat?" And I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I should have mentioned that first." Yes, and because I want to go on that level,
Yeah.
And so that happens about that much time. As far as advanced questions, I would say the upper. I mean, they give like a scale. I don't know. I would say because most people, the middle. 40% are going to be asking. The stuff I kind of see all the time. I've seen that trend.
Kind of your script almost, yeah.
Almost, yeah. But then it's only the upper, like, 10% would be like, here's a detailed thing. I get very few people who are like, I want to see a paper on. No one's ever asked me that.
Sure.
No one asked for a paper.
Yeah.
I would mention papers, and people were just not interested.
Yeah.
Which I get.
I
fine.
think most people in the general public just are not really aware that scientific literature is a thing.
Yes.
So, and I wasn't really aware of that until I was like 12 or 13 years old, maybe. Like, it's something that I try and show all the time on stream because I realize most people don't get to see that. But, yeah.
On the channel on YouTube with Your Dinosaurs Are Wrong, he'll cite papers.
Yeah.
I just don't because apparently all my audiences are children too.
Yeah.
I speak at a certain level, but there's still a lot of kids or families, or parents, and so I just don't mention papers. I mean, obviously, if you want, message me, I'll talk to you.
Yeah.
But it's just in general, I'm like, here's just a 10-minute concept about it.
Yeah.
Here's this toy's wrong, that one's right, like that. So it's kind of it's not like that. That's not the entire video. It's very much these like different toys over time.
Sure.
But it's just that I intentionally decided, not intentionally, but I guess intentionally decided not to cite papers so much. Just be like, here's the general concept.
Yeah.
Because
you know your audience and they're not going to respond to that as well as...
Yes. When I first began doing tours, I went from teaching in a similar structure in geology to public tours. And there was a 6-month period of just like adjustment to the general public. I remember the day I broke my brain was the Dilophosaurus, that thing, right?
Yeah.
So we have a Deinonychus, and there was one in Houston, and I was talking about the raptors and Dromaeosaurus. And the guy goes, "Oh, that thing spits venom." And I was like, "Oh no!" I said, "Here's all these things we know. Like Spielberg said we have a video of this, and I showed it to you." And then there were kids there, not his family. And he goes, "So Jurassic Park effing lied to me, but he said the word."
Oh, geez.
And I was like, and I looked at the
in front of all these kids. Yeah.
I was like, "Sir, like he didn't catch it. He should have done that." And I was like, "Excuse me, sir." You're like, "Hey, And I remember just the way his mind was like, he was going back and forth to me. And that's when I was newer to public speaking like that.
Sure.
And I was like, "You're on a movie you saw. I'm telling you, all these people who feel and all this information, like we're assuming it could be." And he was just like, "But I saw it in a movie," and I didn't.
Yeah.
That was a very eye-opening day for me. And I was like, "Oh, okay, this is a different audience."
Sure,
My geology students are paying for geology degrees, and so that's when I started kind of tweaking how I engage with the public, and and obviously 10 years of tours.
Yeah. So I want to know too, how many like dinosaur kids do you get showing up to take tours?
All the time.
Yeah.
I never grew up.
Me too.
My videos are a wall of toys behind me.
Yeah.
And I'm just, you can't see them all because of the camera. I'm getting better.
It was an impressive setup. Like your videos before you came out here, and it's like, holy cow, that's a lot of dinosaur models.
Yeah, and there's some that go like this way, and they're technically by time period. I try to do that as much as possible, but because when I first moved to that particular spot, my wife's like, "The shelves are already pretty full." And she's like, "You can't get any more." I'm like, "Sure I can," and like they're all jammed in there now. So and so no, but I just, that's something dinosaurs all the time. And I like it. It's like, I would say paleontology is the gateway science.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a lot of kids. I remember I was telling And parents love this. I was like, you got to eat healthy because you don't want to be out in the field getting sick.
Yeah.
The hospitals aren't nearby.
Yeah.
And
So if you want to be a paleontologist,
yeah, it's going to be a
what you have to
paleontologist.
do. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like eat healthy, take, all the classes, the reading and writing, everything matters. Like,
Yeah.
the parents are like, yes, preach, I'll listen to authority. If I come out here and act like a jerk breaking stuff, they'd be like, get out of here. Like, follow, rules, learn practices like that. So these are all like, I kind of make it like a thing. Like I remember the first time I did that at class, it was like bedding features, upper, low, older and the bottom, positioning, right?
Yeah.
And I said, like, when you make your bed, if your sheet and your blanket, and half the kids are like, what? And I was like, you don't make your bed? And they're like, no. One kid's like, my mom makes it for me. Why? And I'm like, that's the first thing you should do in the morning, after you pee. I do these rants. I'm like, you should go pee, then come back. Well, wash your hands, and then come back, make your bed, thing like that. And I just started going this random rant, and the parents are like, okay, this is cool. This guy's neat. And like,
He's doing my job for me.
Yeah. So I kind of bake in those stories too.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. So do you do anything to, like, if you've got a dinosaur kid on one of your tours, somebody who's like really, really interested in dinosaurs, do you like cater to them at all? Do you like?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you're, because we were dinosaur kids, and like we'd go to a museum, and sometimes, like, on a very rare occasion, you get to talk to somebody who actually knows something about dinosaurs at a museum, and that's always super, super special. So, like, what do you try to do to make that more special for that one kid in the audience?
Oh, I give them a small fossil, like an invert fossil. I give them a dinosaur tattoo.
That's awesome.
This one, I was in a hall. I was writing a study guide for the tour guides, and I was looking at labels, like, real quick, and I remember I saw some words like, I heard Travis James. They weren't talking to me, they were talking to each other, like, and I was like, did you say? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, do I know you? And they're like, no. You know my name, and they're like, oh, we see you online. I was like, oh, you're a fan. I said, oh, here's some free
really
stuff. Cool. Let's go to the prep lab. And they're like, and I remember told the social media people, and they're like, so someone recognized you, and you gave them free stuff and took them to the lab. I'm like, yeah. You're a fan. Like, you give them stuff. Like, you help them.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because, I mean, we all had a situation where, I was an adult, and my geology professor, we were labeling minerals for the thing. He's like, this granite's really nice, right? And he was like, yeah, keep that one. And I was like, really? Like, that's a good feeling as a grown man, much less as a 5-year-old, 10-year-old child.
Yeah.
And so I try to answer the questions and try to tell them, like, I will cut, unless you're getting pulled at work,
Yeah.
I will cut out and, like, there's one little boy named Alex. I remember he draw me a dinosaur painting. He drew, like, several paintings. Didn't give him anything to his mother or grandma, like, just to me.
That's
I remember
really sweet. Wow.
Yeah. And he had a big bunch of rocks and minerals, and he didn't know what they really were. So I called my geology friend, my chemistry friend, Alex Ruff, and Leon Gilchrist, and we just sat down for like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
We just abandoned our post and just sat in his classroom and identified and labeled everything for him. And the mother was like, I can't believe, like, these 3 men are taking time. And I was like, he's interested. He has, like, now I've had people who they weren't interested. I try to tell them how cool it is,
Yeah.
But like, if you're gonna be interested, I want to get you as excited about it. Because your life would be just. I was excited about it, and I stuck to it.
And that may make a huge impact on their life. Like, they might choose to pursue this as a career. Because of the interaction they had with you.
Or just anything. I always tell people we were doing inverts class, and I remember studying like crabs and so, crabs can regenerate some of their limbs, right?
Yeah.
And I was saying how, again, much more complicated than this. But what if one day one of you getting science inspired, then you become a person who studies that or can't, whatever. Like, to me, I think that, like, neural kind of tree, kind of like, you don't know where anything will go. So I had other people who were nice and supportive of me. Where that, my mentor who taught me geology, Tom Hobbs, like, I wish I was as good a teacher as he was. My friend, and actually at my last lecture, one of my old students from many years ago went through it with her child, and I remember she was like, I said, do you think he passed away? Like, do you think he would be proud of me? And she's like, James, of course Tom would be proud of you. I'm proud of you. I'm like, oh, okay. He's like this Obi-Wan Kenobi figure in my life. Like, he was there and he passed away, And so I was like, I just want to do what he did for me in that level. Like, if I can get, so when I had my classroom, I would have like drawings on the walls and rocks everywhere, and people were just like, what is all this stuff? And it's all organized by, like that. It's like, to me, you gotta, I know the hard sides of the sport, but I gotta kind of shine it up for the public. And I mean, that's why I know that my outfit is this is a consistent, like with a Spider-Man, without the suit, I'm not a hero. And Tony's like, you have to be a hero without the suit, but like, it does communicate.
People tell it at a glance. They're like, this guy looks like a paleontologist.
I knew you were you before when I first. I was like, yeah, that's. And you said, hi, I'm Danny. I'm like, no. I mean, not that I intentionally. I just did a scan and go like, yeah, this is what this is. So.
I do, I guess, dress the part a little bit.
But you have to.
Because people expect that to a certain extent, and I gotta stretch my legs too. Let's cramp it up.
One of the things that, quote, I learned from George Washington is that he wore. When he wanted to say goodbye, he'd take his hat off, do this. He didn't have to do all that, but he made that impact on people. And so with kids, like, I try to be more like, not a cartoon character, but like at least some kind of like animated person too. And adults too. Like
and it's memorable. And that's I think important in a situation like that. You're trying to make an impact on people, and yeah, it seems like you do a good job. People are recognizing you, like.
At the Children's Museum, people come in, and I don't usually wear this. I'm the whole thing. So people see me, and they're like, "Aren't you the dinosaur guy?" Or I'll be in the store talking, and they hear my voice in the videos, and they're like, "Dr. J's," like, "Yes," and they're like, "I thought it was you," and then so like that's something like my new boss is like, "That's kind of neat, huh?" And I'm like, "No, we'll recognize. That's kind of weird, right?" I'm like, I don't know. Like, I hope they remember what I taught them more important than me, but that tends to be a thing. So.
Yeah, especially on the internet. It's like if you've got a personality that people can latch onto, you'll go a lot further than if it's just the information. Like the information is the most important part, but clearly you recognize that. Where it's like if you've got that image there too, it's so much easier to get people's attention and get them to listen.
A lot of superheroes have their costumes. You see these colors, it means this. And so it's a way of communicating, and like I said, it's something that I like to. That's what I'm exploiting about. I know people. I try, in order to be better service to you, I want to know what you want and what you think. So if I have this outfit, dinosaur guy. If I'm talking to you in a certain way and not using the biggest words I know, that's if I tell a 10-year-old these giant terms, it's gonna help. Most 10-year-olds like I want you to walk away knowing something new. And say I want to know more. Or click on this. And so maybe it's indoctrination probably. I just want more in this paleo pole. That's what it is. Anyway. I don't know.
Yeah. I want to ask if you have any, as we start to wrap up here.
Sure.
Any advice for anybody who's going to be going into science communication or history communication, or if somebody has something they're passionate about and they want to teach the public about it? What's some advice that you would give them?
Don't do what I do. No. I would say, obviously, teach your passion. What I mean by that is, there's parts of the paleo hall that I'm not super excited about. But you can't not talk about that. It's this giant part of the hall, to mention it.
Sure.
But the areas that you want to know, people are going to feel on your energy level. And so I have this thing where I get really excited sometimes, and I just get really happy and start talking really fast, and when I do that, people just go like, "Well, if it's important to him, if this grown person is like, look at this thing, look at that, it's be important." And one of my tour guides, she shouted at me, and she goes, "Do you have any themes to your tour?" And paleo with a head guide, I would say, "You can talk about whatever you want, just make sure you can back it up with some, tie it together." And I remember she followed my tour, and she goes, "You have 27 themes in your tour." And I said, "I don't know if that's good or bad. How it's golf? Do you go lower? What's the number?" And she goes, "No, people have one or two, predator, prey, translation. You do all these things." I said, "Well, I'm doing a Stamper's platter." And she's like, "What do you mean?" I said, "People from there's usually one person wants to be there, and their family's been dragged into it. So I'm trying to add a fun story here about experience I had, or this thing we found, this crazy love story. I've had some of that. Every way someone can have something in the tour. That was pretty cool." And she goes, I never had a planned tour. I had it's a fossil record. We know what it is, right? But I would just if the audience responds one way, I would lean into that. And again, if they would ask me questions about things, and I often, last thing, you're always taught not to talk about yourself during any kind of engagement.
Sure.
But I noticed that by telling part of my story, it shows, like I told you yesterday, it's not like you have to be some special god king to become a paleo person.
You're humanizing.
It's like I am no smarter than you, and I have figured this system out. And so you too can go to Dinosaur Ridge. You get a tour from my friend over there. You too can go to these places. It's not like an alien world that you have to And I know it sounds weird, but to some people it is a jump.
It's not something they would ever think about doing. And
even as a kid, we take vacations, we go places, but to me, stopping outside the road on purpose, the wall. That was something that I just never thought of as a kid. And then I was like, my professor did that. I was like, all of a sudden every wall I drive means something to me now. So that's what I'm saying as advice is that whatever you're passionate about, show it. Try to make sure it's. I want to talk about some detailed stuff, but if the audience can't take that, meet them where their level is. Because,
absolutely,
Because this is the closing part of this. For me at least. But if you give this whirlwind lecture of these big ideas that you feel good about, but no one understood anything you said. Well, you just did a dance.
You're spinning your reels.
At the end of the day, they just walked away going okay, that was neat. I don't know what it meant, but it was neat. And I've had people, I've been to places where there were lectures, and they're like, I don't know what that meant. I know what it meant, but I was like, oh, you don't know. I can explain it for you. So that's something that to me think about it, it's not just you're doing it talk. You're in planting the seeds, like you said.
Yeah.
And these people, you're investing in the future, to me, of our country, our world.
Yeah.
That you're saying, here's a little bit of thing, and they can take that and go somewhere with it.
Yeah.
I'm very idealistic, obviously.
It's important. I think you kind of have to be to do this sort of thing. You know, it's like with the state of science education in this country, like you have to be kind of a naive optimist or just be perennially cheery all the time. I don't know. Yeah, you got to be kind of like a golden retriever, just like I'm happy all the time, you know.
Was it the last one? And there's a part when before you become Optimus Prime, and she's like, "You're not that smart sometimes," or whatever she says, but you're very optimistic. You're always just going gung ho to things. And my wife was like, "That was for you. You want to like make people." I'm like, "That hurts," but like just like to me, I just want honestly say, what do you want out of life as well? I want everyone who I engage with, life to be better if I've known them.
That's beautiful.
It could be a talk. It could be a tour. It could be just something. I smile at you. Here's $10. Buy a Coke. I would Coke cost today. I don't know. But no, that's like a weird, but like paleo the medium when I do this.
Yeah.
Because it's a very fun medium.
Yeah.
It's like the funnest medium. It's like
dinosaurs. No, it seriously is.
How do you lose that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like giant lizard birds that are like, how do you not win with that?
Yeah. Yeah.
My first honors project, the guy was doing dinosaur family tree, and a guy doing Playa Lake bacteria, sound science, good research. Better than what I did. They put me on first. No. And I felt so bad because I'm like, dinosaurs, flesh, dinosaurs, charts.
And then he's got to follow it up with
and he's like,
bacteria.
And I was like, why would they do that? like that's just mean. And I mean, what he did was amazing. I was so impressed, but I was like, I just did this flashy show with music and lights. Like Tony Stark, like, you know. So anyway, so like, hit it with a pretty stick. Like,
yeah.
Anyway.
No, I like that.
Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for making this stream better. Really appreciate it, James. Holy cow.
Making it better. Also, I do this like Jon Stewart's self-deprecating thing too, so just get used to that.
Yeah.
just
I've noticed that. Yeah. You don't have to, but it's charming in a way. Yeah.
I was told You're so nice.
I think it is.
No.
You could disagree, chat, but I don't think you will.
The first time I realized this, I was working in a museum, and I remember someone told me like, there's a person there who is not as smart as they lead on to be, and they're overbearing. And they're and I was like, I never want to be like that. So I think like I'd rather people tell me I'm smart and me say I'm not, than me say I'm smart and them like, no, you're not. Like that's the wrong side of that coin.
I think I'm in the same place. Yeah. I talk about all the time how I have a dog's brain. You know, the golden retriever thing again. Like, you know, try to just be optimistic and happy about most things most of the time, and I don't know. It has a certain charm to it. I think. Yeah. And you'll. I think it's a lot less dangerous than being pompous or pretending to know things that you don't, or, you know, I'd rather be self-deprecating than have too big a head about things, you know?
And saying I don't know something is not a sin or a crime.
No, not at all, yeah.
Like, guess what question, I go, I don't know about that. And they're like, really? And I'm like, I don't know everything, I'm not a god. Like
exactly, yeah.
I was like, I can tell you this about this topic, but I don't really know about you should look into that more, you know?
Yeah.
Tell me, email, you know? But like I think that authenticity is what people want in science teachers, and you know, and just be yourself.
Yeah.
And I mean,
everybody else is taken, you know. Yeah.
I like that. I was taken.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Thanks, James.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
I'll get out.
I'll let you get back to work. Yeah.
I'm gonna drive right home.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, my knees too. I'm getting old. Yeah, we're not as young as we used to be.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get some water too.
Are you still streaming?
Oh yeah. Won't be for a while. I'll go until probably 5. But here, let me get my helmet and my water bottle. But everybody, Jurassic James, follow him on YouTube, Instagram, everywhere you can find him. Again, grateful that he took the time to talk to us. Been cool having him out here. He'll be here, I think, tomorrow in the quarry. So if you've got other questions, we'll have an opportunity to ask him. But I think he's heading back to Texas tomorrow evening or tomorrow afternoon. And there you go, Casey Snowart, yeah. Optimism, I think it can be important, but to a certain extent, I think it's just like an inherent personality thing. I don't know, and I guess I could be cynical about certain things, I guess, but my natural disposition, I think, is pretty sunny. And I don't know. I'm lucky in that regard that it sets me up to do stuff like this, you know? Yeah. And slick solar panel. Thanks, Lordy. Yeah, check that out. Yeah. Anyway, let me get some water here.
For anybody just joining us, welcome to Paleontologizing. We're out here digging in eastern Utah, near the town of Moab. And this is the earliest Cretaceous Cedar Mountain Formation. Jim says this is the oldest Cretaceous period dinosaur bone bed in North America. And yeah, I think he's right. I don't have any reason to think he's not. So it's pretty cool. It's a special site. We've got at least one new species of iguanodont that we're digging up, possibly two. We're still trying to figure that out. And it's great to have you here. Let me know if you've got any questions. My name is Danny Anduza. I'm a dinosaur paleontologist. I work on dinosaurs, and during the summers I dig them up. And nowadays, thanks to the magic of Twitch and satellite internet, I can share that with you. So I'm really glad you're here. Yeah. And James seems so cool. He is, Claire. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And Lordy says, can attest, Danny is either super chill or excited about something almost all the time. Yeah, if I'm not, like, something's wrong. And that's pretty rare, I think. But yeah, I live with Lordy, so she knows me pretty well. Put this on. Ugh. But yeah, give everybody in the quarry a little break from me yapping and yapping. Walk around here for a little while. But yeah. Anyway, Lordy, I hope you're having a good day, and I'm glad to hear that. Mini Pie is back from the vet, safe and sound. It's one of my landlords, one of Lordy's cats. She a little scar thing on her chin. Lordy took her in, and it's just acne. So good for Mini Pie. Glad to hear it. And Carval Upeli says, how much do we know about dinosaur intelligence? Were the species that could have passed the famous mirror test and recognized themselves? That is a really good question. Oh, and Ken, thank you. Histodsupersaurus. Oh, shoot. I'll take a look at that. Appreciate it, Ken. We miss you already, of course. But we're looking forward to seeing you soon, Ken, on Saturday. Ken's a member of our crew. He drives out from Colorado. He'll be out here again soon. We didn't get to have him on stream this time, but this weekend we'll have Ken on stream. Dinosaur intelligence. Carvo, modern dinosaurs, birds, many of them have a mirror test, which I think entails putting a spot or a sticker or some sort of visual marker on a critter, and they don't know that it's there, but then you sit them in front of a mirror and they look in the mirror and they see the spot, and then they like try and touch the spot on themselves. It shows that there's some degree of like recognition. They know that is them. So there's a concept of self, I guess, which intelligence researchers take as a sign of intelligence. Intelligence is like a really hazy, controversial, loosey-goosey kind of subject, but the mirror test, I think, is pretty standard. There are a number of different birds that have passed the mirror test. I think a bunch of different corvids. Those are like crows, ravens, jays, and their relatives. I'm pretty sure that psittaciform birds, parrots, budgies, birds like that, they've passed it too. And birds are living dinosaurs. A lot of birds today are very, very clever. But the question is, could dinosaurs during the Mesozoic era, either the ancestors of birds or other groups of dinosaurs, could they have passed the mirror test? And the answer is, we don't know. I suspect that a lot of dinosaurs would have been probably a bit more clever than you would anticipate. People tend to think of dinosaurs as being, I don't know, they use mammals as an analogy for dinosaurs in a way that I think is very unhelpful much of the time. Mammals tend to have pretty large, inefficient brains, counter to what you see in like birds. Birds tend to have much smaller brains proportionally than mammals do, tend to be much more compact, much more efficient. Even if dinosaur skulls show that a lot of dinosaurs had very small brains, that doesn't necessarily mean that they were stupid. I don't think that dinosaurs like sauropods or stegosaurs would have been super geniuses or anything like that, but, just calling them stupid because many of them had small brains, I think is probably missing the point. Oh, James, yeah.
I went to town to get stuff, and they told me to get like these things that you want. Anything if you. You can't say certain things. Or
no, I think we're good. Yeah. Let's see. Lettuce, maybe, if they have it.
Sure.
They probably won't have it at the convenience store, but
I'll check. I mean, better check it than not.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like they're sitting right there. I'm like, well, I didn't know this. You know, they should have told me that.
Yeah. If I think of anything else, I'll let you know.
Yeah. Have Danny, not Danny. You're Danny.
Yeah.
Don, the D's.
Yeah.
Don has my to text me.
Perfect. Yeah. Thanks, James. Appreciate it. Yeah. Yeah. James is gonna go head to the convenience store. That's very sweet of him. Yeah. I gotta think if there's anything else that. Tortillas would be nice. That's on the list. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. This idea that dinosaurs were universally stupid, I think, is without merit. I'll put it that way. Yeah. And there are a number of theropod dinosaurs, the two-legged, mostly meat-eating dinosaurs, the group that birds belong to. A lot of them seem to have fairly large brains compared to their body size. What we're talking about there is called, it's EQ, encephalization quotient, and that's basically, you take the volume of the brain and you compare it to the volume of the animal's body. And if it's a high ratio, like large brain compared to the body, maybe they were kind of clever? I don't know. It's very inexact, like many things are in like intelligence research. But yeah, the dinosaur that famously had a large brain compared to its body size is Troodon. Troodon is a dinosaur we talk about quite a bit on our channel. Good old. Yeah, but yeah, and James is from Texas. Yes, indeed. And yeah, absolutely, chicken bacon Swiss crows. There are corvids. I think like New Caledonian crows in particular that can solve like spatial puzzles that an 8-year-old child might struggle with. You know, like they're smarter than kids, at least when we're talking about figuring out little fiddly puzzles and stuff, which is funny. Yeah. And would non-avian dinosaurs have been the same way? I don't know. We don't know, but it's cool to think about, at least, you know? The thing about science is that it's all about testing ideas. So we can say, oh yeah, well, you know, Troodon would have been really smart because it had a big brain, but how do you actually go about testing that, you know? How do you quantify it? How do you form a hypothesis that's falsifiable and then try and falsify it? It gets a bit trickier, you know, when you try and do things in a scientific way, but it's much more meaningful. Yeah. And Keira says, I've been wondering about getting into paleontology for a long time, but I haven't got the smarts for the science part of it. So glad to have found your channel. Thank you for sharing with us. You bet. I want to push back a little bit, though. I mean, you say you're not good at the science part of it. That's the whole part. But I wonder if that's true, you know? I wonder if you're not... Maybe you could be good at the science part of it. At the end of the day, paleontology, fossil science, it's not rocket surgery, you know? If I can do it, you could probably do it. Don't sell yourself short. And that's the thing about paleontology is that I think more so than a lot of other fields, there are so many different ways for non-professionals to get involved. If you wanted to volunteer on a field crew like this, you could do that. If you're willing to put up with the conditions, being out in the desert in the heat, swatting at bugs and dealing with wind and living in a tent and stuff. If none of that stuff sounds daunting to you, you should totally see about joining a field crew. There are a bunch of different paleontology programs around the U.S. and throughout the world who absolutely need volunteers. If you want to go out and dig up fossils, dinosaurs, ancient mammals, fossil plants, whatever, we could really use your help. You know, I say we as the paleontological community as a whole. Likewise, if you're not so much an outdoor person, if you're more indoorsy, there's still ways that you can contribute. There are museums that need volunteers to do things like, well, give tours like James does professionally. A lot of museums need volunteer docents. There are opportunities to help clean fossils in the laboratory, what we call fossil preparation. you could learn how to do that. And that is vitally important for the progression of paleontology. We bring these fossils back from the field. Somebody has to work on them in the lab before they can be remove that rock. They've got to glue the pieces together. They've got to make these things ready to be studied. There are lots and lots of different ways that you can get involved, even if you're not on a career track to become a paleontologist. Even if this isn't going to be your career, you can still make really important contributions to paleontology. So I want to emphasize that. Don't sell yourself short. Maybe you would be good at the science part, but even if you're not, scientifically I don't want to say if you're not scientifically minded, because that sounds gatekeepy. But even if you don't get excited about the science part of it, maybe you're excited about the excavation part or the fossil preparation part. But even that has elements of science, Science isn't just, test tubes and beakers and white lab coats. There's so many different parts to it. And what we're doing out here is science too, We're testing hypotheses by excavating these fossils. We're collecting data. We're trying to do everything that we can to gain as much information as we can from these rocks and the fossils within them. That's science, Yeah. From Stainless 327, what are the prime field spots for excavating dinosaur fossils? And if you had a favorite one that's outside of the USA. I've never actually dug fossils outside of the US. Not yet, at least. Hopefully sometime soon. But all of my field work, I've been digging dinosaurs since 2011. Nearly every summer, I've gone out and done paleontological field work, except for 2020 and 2021 because of COVID. Didn't do any field work then. But yeah, my favorite places within the U.S., because that's the only country that I've dug in. Well, this is one of them here, Doling's Bowl in eastern Utah, kind of near the town of Moab. I enjoy this so much because, there's good people here and good conversations, and it's just a lovely place to be. This is one of my favorite field sites. I really enjoyed working in the Hell Creek Formation in Montana, digging up Tyrannosaurus and Ankylosaurus, Pachycephalosaurus, Triceratops. A lot of Triceratops. The Hell Creek is a lot of fun. The Judith River Formation, a little bit older than the Hell Creek, in Montana. The Almond Formation in Wyoming is always a challenge, logistically. Oh boy. But Ethan leads that field crew out there. We've got a really cool program going, and really enjoy that. Yeah, those are my favorite places so far that I've done field work. Yeah, it's I've been really lucky to be able to do this nearly every summer for, this is what, my 16th or 17th season, something like that, if we count different field areas as different seasons. So this would be my second season this summer. I spent the whole month up in Wyoming in June, and now 3 weeks here. That's a separate season at Doling's Bowl. And then I might have a third season this summer / fall at Laurie's site near Moab. We'll see if that works out. But yeah. Anywho. And Becca Paintmore says, I wish I could do that. You still got to have professional knowledge to do cleaning, it seems? No, not necessarily. At a bunch of different museums, they will take volunteers who have zero experience whatsoever in fossil prep. If they have somebody there to teach you, then, yeah. It might help if you have any kind of experience in art, painting or sculpture or model building or something like that. Like, that might help get your foot in the door. But there are a lot of museums where they'll kind of take anybody. If you're willing to learn, if you're detail-oriented, if you take orders well, if you're patient, and if you've got a schedule where you can come in multiple times a month, then they'd be more than happy to have you. So, like I said, I'm kind of our field is. There are, I think, not too many particle physics, advanced organic chemistry or something. Maybe there are, I don't know. But paleontology is one of those fields where we could not do the work that we do without volunteers, without interested amateurs, without enthusiastic members of the public. We need your help, The number of dinosaurs that have been discovered by not professional paleontologists, but by members of the public. Baryonyx is a dinosaur, pretty famous one from England, discovered by a plumber who was himself like an amateur paleontologist. It's a fossil collector who did that in his spare time. William Walker is his name. The Wonkel Rex, the Tyrannosaurus specimen from eastern Montana, at the time it was the most complete T-Rex ever found. That was discovered by a local rancher, Kathy Wonkel, hence the Wonkel Rex. It was named after her. So many examples of this, like so many different either interested amateurs or just random people who happen to be out walking their dog or bird watching or hiking, and they stumble across a dinosaur and it turns out to be a big deal. It happens all the time. I don't know what the proportion is of number of finds that have been made by professionals versus amateurs, but it's a high percentage, I think, the number of important finds made by people who are not professional paleontologists. Shenanigans, thank you for the raid. I really appreciate that. Hope you had an excellent stream. It's good to see you. There's not a delay in the chat. There's a delay with me. My apologies. Thank you for bringing your viewers in. Again, I hope your stream was really good. But yeah. And Lady Fiend says, I did not need experience at the Museum of Natural History at the U of U campus. Really? Very nice. At NHMU, Natural History Museum of Utah, they didn't require experience? Well, there you go, chatters. I need to drink some more water. Clearly. And Gauriki says, more of the story, spend more time outside. I mean, I'm always trying to get people to do that, if you can. Not everybody can go outside, but if you have the wherewithal, it's a nice thing to do. Holy cow. I mean, yeah, I feel really lucky to be able to basically spend 2 or 3 months out of every year. Well, maybe not 3 months. Between 1 and 3 months every year out in the field, sleeping in a tent, living out in the desert. That's an extreme example, but if you can go outside and spend some time outdoors every day, it's good for your mind, body, and soul, I highly recommend it. I know that's a sacrilegious thing to say on Twitch. Oh, tear myself away from my computer? Be AFK, as people say? It's good for you. If you can do it, do it. Go spend some nature. It's really good for you. Yeah. AFK equals DED. Oh no, Claire. But yeah. Here, we had another question right there. Let me get to that. If this site is different, let me drink some water first, though. Being outdoors, it's very dry out here. Gotta make sure that I'm staying hydrated, especially yapping as much as I am. There we go. There's fossils outside, exactly, Casey. Yeah. Anywho. Flowers of Salt wants to know, is this Utah dig site different from the one they had the type Thailand on some weeks or months ago? Yes. So we were out in Wyoming then, in the late Cretaceous Almond Formation. So those rocks are about 73 million years old. These rocks here, much older. This quarry here, these rocks are about 142 million years old. So like 70 million years older than the ones in Wyoming. Much earlier in the age of dinosaurs. This is from the very, very, very beginning of the Cretaceous period. The rocks up in Wyoming that we were digging in the Almond Formation near Green River, Wyoming. Those rocks are about 73 million years old. Late Cretaceous period. So totally different cast of characters as far as the fauna goes. The dinosaurs here are very, very different from the ones there. There we had horned dinosaurs, we had duck-billed dinosaurs, we had tyrannosaurs and ankylosaurs. Here, we've got iguanodont dinosaurs, which are kind of like precursors to the duckbills. You had iguanodonts before you had duckbills. Duckbills evolved from iguanodonts. They're a part of iguanodontia, I guess. And then no horned dinosaurs yet. Hadn't evolved yet. They're not around. And no tyrannosaurs here. The earliest tyrannosaur from North America, well, from the Cretaceous at least, we think they probably go extinct at the end of the Jurassic in North America. And then later on, tyrannosaurs from Asia migrate into North America millions of years after these rocks. So no tyrannosaurs yet here. And we do have ankylosaurs though, but ours are very different from the ones that we had up in Wyoming, much earlier in time. No tail clubs yet on ankylosaurs from around here. So very, very different dinosaur fauna. And DS Koopa, hello, hello, welcome to Paleontologizing. 275 raiders. What's shaking, everybody? Hello, hello. It's good to have you here. Welcome to eastern Utah. Welcome to the earliest Cretaceous Cedar Mountain Formation. I'm here with the Utah Geological Survey, and we're digging up dinosaurs live on stream. My name is Danny Anduza. I'm a dinosaur paleontologist, and I'm here on Twitch trying to do some good old-fashioned science outreach. Talking so much I'm starting to get a sore throat, but that's okay. Comes with the territory, all this yapping. But yeah, I'm Danny Anduza. I dig up dinosaurs, I study them, I publish on them in the scientific literature, and now, thanks to the magic of Twitch and satellite internet, I can broadcast to you from the middle of nowhere in Utah. We're kind of near the town of Moab, if you know where that is, in eastern Utah, way out in the middle of the desert, and we've got one, maybe two new species of iguanodont dinosaur that we're digging up here. Iguanodonts are these beaky plant-eating dinosaurs that would have looked something like this. That's your classic iguanodon right there on that patch. But our iguanodont here, member of the same family, about 20 million years older than that guy. Much more primitive, if we want to use old-timey words like that. Probably didn't have a thumb spike yet, we're finding. And yeah, this is important. These are some of the oldest Cretaceous dinosaurs ever found in North America, if not the world. So, important stuff. So again, working with the Utah Geological Survey. And yeah, we're a crew of paleontologists and volunteers. And yeah, eager for any questions that you've got. So don't be shy. Yeah. Anyway, how was your stream? DJ Koopa, right? Yeah. And DS Koopa, sorry. Wrong consonant. But yeah. And yeah, Hacky Channel died. Thank you, Mark Melvin, for those gift subs. Really appreciate that. Yeah. And we do have dromaeosaurs and megalosaurs. Well, not megalosaurs. Megalosaurs seem to go extinct at the end of the Jurassic. But we do have evidence of a carcharodontosaur from this site. In fact, Ethan, you found that quadrate, right?
Yeah.
Probably from, I don't know, would it be safe to say something kind of like Acrocanthosaurus, maybe?
A big allosauroid. Oh, that was probably a juvenile.
Uh-huh.
Because it was pretty small.
So, yeah. The thing we've got in spade, iguanodont bones. So, actually right under this jacket here, we've got, you can see one of the bones sticking out there. I'm going to very carefully step right here, where I see that it's safe. Yeah.
but this is a jacket from last year. You know, we found a bunch of limb bones all together right here, and then didn't have the opportunity to get them out in time, so we had to just do a winter jacket, and now here they are again. And there's the end of one of those bones sticking out there. We found a few other bones so far, and you can actually see there's one right there, another one stacked over it. Pickup sticks. But yeah, I've been working this horizon. That little spot. And have yet to encounter any here, but might not be deep enough. So we'll be continuing there in a few minutes, I think. Let me walk around and answer some more questions first before I dive back into that. Yeah. And on Petrodactyls. Oh, Carnosaurs with an S. Yeah. Carnosaur is just a... It used to be a generic term for big meat-eating dinosaurs. But now it's like Allosauroids and their relatives, or Carnosaurs, as I understand it. So it's Carcharodontosaurs, Acrocanthosaurus and its relatives, probably Carcharodontosaurs. Critters like that are Carnosaurs. And so we've got, like I said, tantalizing bits and pieces. We've got a tooth from over there. We've got that quadrate, the back of the skull bone that Ethan found a couple years ago. We know they're here, and that's about all that we know. We don't know what they looked like. We don't know how big they got, anything like that. Only their presence is a guarantee at this point. Everything else is fuzzy, hazy. And you're good, Petrodactylus. Yeah, it's good to have you here, by the way. I hope you're doing well. Always good to see you, Petrodactylus. Marcy Walks Dogs, thank you for the 13 months of support. I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you. Yeah. Yeah. And seeing these wonderful USA sites makes me want to get involved, says Flowers of Salt. You should. Yeah, holy cow. Yeah, there's plenty of opportunities to get involved with different organizations. You might have to hunt around for a little bit, but believe me, it's worth it. I first came out here in 2022 because I knew that Jim Kirkland and Don DeBlue were out here doing field work, and so I just emailed them. I'm like, hey, you know, I've met you before at conferences and stuff. What are you up to? Can I help out? And they said, yeah, come on down. And I've been working here every year since then. So 2022, 3, 4, now 5. This is my 4th year digging at this site, and it's always one of the... Look forward to this. To be part of something like digging up a new species of dinosaur is that's pretty special, you know? You can't beat that. Anywho, Durus Magnus has got, an excellent question. Any interesting microfossils? How long has this site been worked on? Greetings from Colorado and Dinosaur Ridge and MNHM. Morrison Museum of Natural History? Very cool, the Morrison Museum. Awesome, Durus Magnus. Yeah. So this particular site, this one quarry right here, we've been working on since 2022. But this whole area, Doling's Bowl, has been worked on for about 20 years, I think. Close to 25, something like that. And there's a few different dinosaurs that have been named from right here. So the type locality for Mierosaurus, Mierasaurus, is from just to the right of our quarry, just like a couple horizons up. And so basically these iguanodonts were underneath where the Mierosaurus was. So it's right there. And then Yurgovuchia, which is a dromaeosaur from the Cedar Mountain Formation. Yurgovuchia is from right over there. And now we've got our new iguanodont too. Karen Poole presented on this at SVP this year. And yeah, we've got 1, possibly 2 new species of iguanodont dinosaur. We're still trying to figure that out. But yeah, exciting. Should be published within the next few years, hopefully. Maybe we can bug Karen and ask about the ETA on that. But yeah. Yeah, great to have you here, Durus Magnus. Great questions.
We actually have somebody from Dinosaur Ridge here, don't we? Hey, Marcello. You've worked at Dinosaur Ridge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got somebody in the chat who I think has worked there, or maybe still does, not sure. But yeah, Doris Magnus in the chat.
Doris Magnus. Okay, I don't recognize the name now.
Oh, you got the Dinosaur Ridge hat.
I'm wearing a
yeah,
Dino
man.
Ridge hat
Nice.
right now. I'm always repping the Ridge.
Yeah, nice. I've not been to Dinosaur Ridge yet, but I'm excited to go one of these days.
Yeah, definitely check it out. And
Yeah.
it's not that far a drive. And you'll see a lot of fossils there. It's
Yeah.
really full of fossils.
It's pretty close to Denver, Colorado, right?
Yeah.
So if we have anybody in that part of Colorado, make sure you go visit Dinosaur Ridge. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's only 20 minutes outside the city.
Oh, shoot, yeah.
And right across the street from Red Rocks Amphitheater, too.
Right, yeah,
so
yeah.
that's right in between the two. So
Very nice. Cool. Yeah.
definitely
Awesome.
check it out.
Yeah. Thanks, Marcello.
No
Yeah.
problem.
And then, Karen, can we bug you for a second?
Sure.
How long do you think? I know this is the perennial question and a really annoying one. Till this iguanodont or iguanodonts get published.
Oh, yeah. I think you said within 2 years. Yeah, I think that's probably about right.
Yeah. Oh, was I that loud? You could hear me? Shoot.
Yeah. No, it's okay. It's okay. We were actually being quiet in the quarry, so yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've got one other kind of big project that I'm wrapping up and trying to get published.
Big
this
phylogeny
year. The
one.
big,
Yeah, yeah.
Big ornithischian
Exciting.
phylogeny.
Yeah.
We're gonna get it done.
Yeah.
Kathy, if you're watching, I'm gonna get it done. Kathy's not watching Twitch. It's okay.
Somebody can clip it. Yeah.
My co-author. Well, really, she's the first author on this.
Nice.
So after that, then I think this is going to be my main focus.
Yeah. Nice.
And so, yeah, but it's going to take some work. We've got a lot of elements to
Study,
figure,
describe, yeah.
And Don's already been doing a lot of photographs of things.
Nice.
But, there's still a process to get from a photograph to a figure with a nice clean scale bar and labels and all of that. So, and then like I've written nothing. So
Yeah. Fair. I don't know. I'm really excited for this to get done, but at the same time, it's like this is pretty fast. In the grand scheme of things,
in the grand scheme, yeah.
I've discovered specimens that back in 2012 that are still. We don't even have. Nobody's even started working on them yet. So this is
the big project I'm wrapping up with a big ornithischian phylogeny.
Yeah.
It's also describing a genus.
Oh, really?
In Western China, it has been excavated since grad school with Kathy in like 2010. So
yeah,
we've had this specimen for 15 years and we're still.
So it can take decades.
It can take mostly just sort of a backlog of other projects and work responsibilities between everybody. But also, it just sometimes it takes a while, guys.
Yep. So your patience is appreciated.
No, I hope. It's hard to even give a timeline at this point.
Yeah.
We're at that stage. But this is going to be my big focus, I think. Like my next big project after the current one is
nice. Done. So we'll ask you for a timeline next year.
I think next year I'll have a better sense of the timeline. Yes.
Perfect. Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, Karen.
Yep.
Yeah. Nice. So I talk about that all the time. how long it takes to get the stuff out where the public can hear about it and get excited about it. It could take years and years and years, but I'm really lucky in that I get to share this with you while we're still digging the thing up. That's pretty special. Yeah. Brendan's Games, hello to you. Hello. And will it be open access, I hope, says Ms. Art Rules. I hope so. Yeah. And there you go, Doris Magnus, yes. Requirements of verification. Yeah. In the meantime, we can do informal stuff like these streams. But, yeah. Science takes time. It's not like instant coffee. I probably like instant coffee, though, Instant coffee's not as good as the stuff that takes a while to brew. Am I right? Do we have anybody in the chat who prefers instant coffee? I doubt it. And oh, very cool, Brandon's Games. Yeah, we are not far from there. Moab and Arches / Canyonlands. It's right over there. So that's this part of the world for sure. Beautiful country, right? And we've been so lucky over the past few days, just how cool it's been here. For this time of year, I thought it was going to be 110, 115. No, it's like, what, high 80s today maybe? All this beautiful cloud cover. What did we do to deserve this, you know? How lucky are we? Holy cow. And oh, okay, Ash and Diagonal. Some people do prefer instant coffee. Yeah. And DM Wing. Okay, fair. But yeah. Anyhow, let me drink some more water.
I'm touching.
And there had to be someone, says Pumpkin the Cat. Yes, indeed. Yeah. It's a thing. Anyway, DS Koopa, anybody else come in from that raid? And if you just want to say hi, feel free to. Especially if you've got any questions. That's what these streams are all about, you know? This is why this is a Twitch stream and not a YouTube video. You can ask questions live and get them answered live. It's the interactivity that makes this special. So do not hesitate if you've got questions. I'm gonna go put the camera back down in the quarry and do some more digging. And yeah.
Then they'll just prep it out and be like, oh, I have
Oh, yeah, this will definitely project. Like this. Just this. Yeah, that will be left on.
Oh, question from Cringe Balloon. Did any dinosaurs use tools?
Yeah.
We don't have any evidence of that in the fossil record. But there are modern dinosaurs that do use tools. Some species of bird will actually use things like sticks to be able to extract insects from inside of tree trunks and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's not inconceivable that some of the cleverer Mesozoic dinosaurs could have done the same thing. You'll see this in stuff like Prehistoric Planet that came out a few years ago. There's a scene with a troodontid that uses like a smoldering stick to go spread a forest fire further in order to be able to catch little mammals and stuff fleeing from it. It's speculative, but it's not inconceivable. Yeah, tool use is one of those things that's more common in non-human animals than people realized. Like, it seems like every few months there's a new paper that comes out that says, oh yeah, this one group of animals, that nobody thought was particularly clever. Shoot, they have tool use. We have it in primates and various kinds of birds. We have it in cephalopods, things like octopus. Yeah. What other groups of mammals use tools, Fisher? Apart from primates.
Well, I mean, it depends on what you define a tool as.
Yeah.
Because there are some insects that will pick up like small pieces of soil or rocks and use them to like plug holes. And
Sure,
stuff.
yeah.
So is that a tool? It's like, if it is, then all sorts of animals use tools. Like,
Uh-huh.
is a pig wallowing in mud a tool?
No, it's just interacting with its environment.
Well, would we consider a shampoo a tool?
No, but if you were to hit someone in the face with a shampoo bottle, that would be a tool or a weapon.
Let's see.
I mean, there's non-primate mammals that use tools. Like
the thing is that a lot of mammals don't have hands.
Yeah, but I'm thinking like orcas. Don't they use implements to?
No.
No. Sea otters.
Yeah, sea otters.
Classic example.
They have hands. Raccoons probably.
Yeah.
Birds. I mean, like.
Oh yeah, lots of birds. Yeah.
Yeah, plenty of birds.
What is it? There's like hawks or eagles or something like that in Australia will like.
They'll spread fires.
Spread fires.
Yeah. Yeah.
Grab a burning branch and drop it.
And there are birds which they'll like use, what is it, like rocks to crack open eggs, I think?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of who does that.
Yep.
It's not Seriemas. They're just smashing things on the ground.
Yeah.
Like Egyptian vultures or something.
Oh yeah.
Some kind of bird.
Is like stripes storing things on sticks?
Oh, is that tool use? I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to like fashion it from anything.
No,
yeah.
But they're using it for a particular purpose.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But so are pigs wallowing in mud. That's
like they didn't fashion the mud.
That's like sunscreen.
Yeah.
Huh.
I'm kind of the school of thought, like you said, like if a bug plugs a hole with dirt, like that counts as a tool.
It does. Well, it's like modifying an object in its environment for a specific purpose.
Keep
Yeah, like
picking
we
something
use
up
sunscreen
and
in pigs wall with mud, like because they know what they're doing. Like hippos know that they're trying to help protect their skin.
Sure.
They know.
Yeah, you're right, Fisher. Though that it is difficult to like define what is tool use.
what is a tool?
Yeah.
Because if we're asking how many mammals pick things up and use them like tools, well, it's like most mammals can't.
Of hands.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like people.
Like no ungulates can pick anything up
Moose can.
with their antlers.
No, with their mouths, their lips.
Okay.
So I think there's examples of moose like breaking out of their enclosures at zoos because they'll like pick up a stick and like use it to open a gate.
Are smart.
I've never heard of that before.
They're super smart in those ways.
I think it was in a novel actually. I don't know if I've ever actually seen it like that's in the literature, but yeah. Let's see. Moose using tools to escape imprisonment enclosure. Oh shoot. Clever moose manages to escape enclosure. Like zoo. It's from 2015.
I have like a long...
I don't know if it's tool use though. Let's see. Oh, he just squeezed through a fence. Didn't have antlers yet. That doesn't count. It's not what I'm looking for.
Regardless, I'm of the school of thought that most animals are smarter than we give them credit for.
I agree.
And so
Yeah.
I don't really look for a specific parameter to be met before I,
Yeah.
I think pretty much every mammal is relatively intelligent.
They've got a certain degree of like self-awareness or cleverness.
Same with birds.
Yeah.
Plenty of reptiles are pretty smart. Like people who handle big constrictor snakes and crocodilians and stuff often comment that they recognize them and that they treat them differently than they would, guests who come over.
Sure. Yeah.
And so they're capable of, remembering individual people of a different species.
Which I don't do that sometimes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So yes,
Alligators are smarter than me.
animals are much smarter than people give them credit for.
I agree. Yeah, I do think we've talked about this before. That I think a lot of times people are afraid to think of animals as being intelligent because that raises questions like, oh shoot, should we be treating these animals better? Yeah, it can cause some discomfort, and that's okay. Maybe we should be asking those questions.
also seem like
Yeah, they seem like no thoughts, only skills sticking out.
Yeah.
Sorry, my hands are full right now.
I want to have more respect for amphibians. I think some amphibians are still doing it really cool.
Oh yeah, there's cool.
Mr. Grumpy Pants says, I thought Steve Irwin died.
He did.
Oh, they think
He's getting Steve Irwin mixed up with Ozzy Osbourne, who died today, right? Yeah. R.I.P. Yeah.
Oh yeah. What?
Yeah.
you said that earlier.
I just thought that I just heard his farewell tour. I thought you were like his farewell tour had ended. Not that he died.
No, he died like today or yesterday.
What the?
Yeah.
heck?
Paleontologist live reaction to Ozzy
Live
Osbourne
reaction
death.
to news we're only just now getting in the field.
Shoot, yeah. So, Laura, what do you guys think? Thoughts on Ozzy Osbourne's death?
This is terrible.
I don't want my broadcast crying with laughter. It's awful.
No, you weren't doing that. We all heard you. Those are genuine tears of sadness.
We're
Yeah.
genuinely sad.
Yeah.
That's very sad.
It is sad. Yeah.
A bunch
Yeah.
of Black Sabbath songs.
Yeah.
All the other ones.
So
I need to be
I'm kind of feeling
kid
bad.
friendly. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really.
Well,
I mean,
we've got
yeah.
15 minutes left in the broadcast, so just hold on to it until after that, and then you can. Yeah.
As soon as it's over a stream of like 15 minutes
Profanity, yeah.
non-stop blasphemy.
Fair. Yeah.
That, he would have wanted it that way.
That's true.
Love that video.
Yeah.
There's like a scene from when he had a reality TV show. He comes out of his room and he's like, "Who's drinking all my beers? It's only last beer."
And
It's like, "It was you."
and Ozzy was a nice guy. He did fight against trophy hunting. Interesting. Okay.
Settle down. He's like,
Yeah. Anyway, like he leaves behind a really cool legacy, and people know him and remember him, and yeah, it's more than most of us can claim. So yeah, that's cool.
He's not very popular among bats.
I was gonna say that. I'm glad you said it, Fisher, and not me. Not popular among Chiroptera. Yeah. That would be cool if, like, later on in life he, like, you know, helped raise awareness about endangered bat species, but I don't know if he did. I'm gonna say, hopefully he did. It's a species of mammal, Fisher, that you wish more people knew about and cared about in terms of conservation.
All of them.
That's a good answer. Is there one in particular, though, where it's like... My example is usually the vaquita, you know? Where there's like 10 of them left, and it's just like a super, super urgent
I
situation
feel
with
like what I
them.
would do is I'd have to like do the research to find like a keystone species that I think
Yeah,
is underrepresented in conservation.
fair.
Compare it to like Bowie or somewhere.
Sea otters are a good example, but they've been worked on extensively.
And they're very charismatic.
Yellowstone
Yeah.
wolves as well.
Yeah. Oh, as keystone species.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Very well
I
known.
want to be able to do
That is one like I do actually.
Yeah.
Like I'm not always so convinced by the argument that everything needs to be saved, because extinction does happen naturally. Obviously, we're
Yeah, that's true.
playing a part in it, but I think generally the attention should be focused on animals where there's direct evidence of them being really important to their ecosystem.
Sure. Or like, you know, we know for certain they were doing fine until we showed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, definitely, I have to remember off shit.
It's hard. It's hard to have a non-emotionally charged, reaction to this kind of thing. Because like I love elephants. And like, so I would really be sad to see like Proboscidea go as a group.
As a group, not just one species, but the whole clade?
Yeah, honestly,
That'd be devastating.
It's not infeasible in the near future. I mean, they take 10 years to reach sexual maturity.
Gestation period of like 18 months or more?
2 years.
24 months? Shoot.
There's only 3 species and they live in very populated parts of the world.
Yeah.
So any sort of environmental cataclysm, I feel like would not be good for them. Maybe that's not a great example because they are ecosystems, and that they can knock over trees and stuff. So it's not like they're.
Well, but they're important in that regard, where they're having a big impact on their habitat.
The panda is one of the animals that's like I'm not so sure this is an animal that's.
I've heard other people say that too. Although the counter argument to that I've heard about pandas, like they're super specialized, they're just kind of waiting to go extinct, is that they're what you might call a flagship species, in the sense where if you conserve them and you protect their habitat, there's so many other species that benefit from that.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a very complicated issue.
Yeah.
And so maybe the best answer is the one I had initially, is that all of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
You know, if
we. Oh, and hang on, Marcella, would you mind turning that down or turning it off for now? I don't want the VOD to get copyright nuked.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Oh, of course.
Sorry. I don't want to be a killjoy. Yeah, sorry, Ozzy. We'll
wait till later.
Yeah, we'll hold a seance later.
We need to toast them anyways before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Not seance. I'm being disrespectful. We'll have a heartfelt.
Heavy metal anthems of all time. War Pigs.
Oh yeah. Who was it who did War? Shoot.
As a kid, that went so hard. I don't remember it.
Yeah.
Okay, so Green River tonight.
And Mr. Grumpy Pants says, "Don't you guys contract valley fever with all that digging?" Oh yeah, that was years ago. You know. There's no going back.
Hopefully we're in rock and not duck.
Yeah.
Is that just a California thing, like Central Valley, or is that other parts of Arizona too? Huh. But not in Utah so far?
Yeah, it might be into southern Utah, but yeah, I haven't heard of it up here.
Huh, okay. Yeah, so we don't really have to worry about valley fever here.
What are we doing for dinner, Don?
Tacos, I
think. Tacos?
Ooh.
With meat?
Yeah, we're gonna defrost one of those.
Sweet. And beefs?
Beef too.
Right on.
Just have some ground beef on the side.
JB says, "Don't be a jerk to animals" is a good stance. Yeah. Agreed.
Conserve ecosystems.
Yeah. Plants, fungi, protists.
Don't be too focused on individual species. I think would be my perspective on this. Is that it's more important to preserve wild spaces.
No,
I agree. Yeah.
I mean,
if you're just like breeding one vulnerable, letting the habitat just get destroyed, then what are you even doing?
Typically. The extinction is, where would they go?
Exactly. Yeah.
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 I mean, it'll be a delicious meal. I just mean that particular.
I've been getting really into like leatherback conservation, leatherback turtles over the past few months, and they're another flagship species where like there's so many different things that affect their survival, or in order to properly protect leatherback turtles, you have to protect their nesting beaches. You have to prevent crazy climate change from occurring so they don't all turn out female when they hatch. You have to make sure that there's not too much plastic in the oceans where they're ingesting plastic bags that look exactly like sea jellies and choking on them. You have to make sure that you're not overfishing and you're not catching these turtles and drowning them in trawling nets and stuff like that. There's so many different angles that you have to approach their conservation from, but if you do all of those, you're helping preserve this entire ecosystem. You're helping to to protect all of these different species that inhabit those same habitats. So, yeah, I like the idea that they can be kind of a conservation ambassador. And I think leatherback turtles are really cool, and that's why I'm so jazzed about them. But this whole ecosystem is extraordinarily important. So I don't know. If you manage to save leatherback turtles, you're saving so many other species at the same time, and I think that's really cool. Anyway, more about that later.
Beef tubes. Beef tubes. What's the dinner? Beef tubes. Tubes.
Let's see. Oh, and JB, I've seen the same thing in Puerto Rico, just like the bleaching of those corals there. It's truly tragic. I saw that back in May of this year. Yeah, and it's happening all over the world. It's deeply distressing. It hurts my heart. Yeah, me too. Shoot.
It's about 5. It's,
yeah.
455. That's right.
There
we go. 455. Yeah, look on the bright side.
Should I empty my bucket or just leave
Up to you. I think.
You gotta empty it and then fill it again before 5.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, that's a good challenge. Let's do that. One more round.
one more for the road?
Final round, last call.
Sweet, finally got some room to get a on the jack.
Oh, this is the best part of the day.
Yep. When you're tired. Best part of the day is when you're at your most exhausted.
Actually, today was most comfortable day yet.
Yeah, great weather today.
Except for the ants. Kept biting me.
Except for the ants.
But,
Yeah, the
you know,
ants are
gotta have
super
something even it out,
Those
you know?
vindictive ants.
Yeah.
I'm tired of them tickling me.
No, they bit me a couple times.
Really?
Yeah, let's not happen here before.
Good day for us, good day for the
Yeah,
ants.
mine were mostly just crawling on me today. So.
Probably because they were so happy with that crumb.
And JB says, how long does it take to excavate a full-sized, or an average-sized bone? Like, what about the rib from yesterday's stream? That one took, I don't know, probably start to finish, maybe 5 hours, something like that. Trying to think about all the active time worked on that.
Or there's bones like this where it takes just less than a year.
Yeah.
It's frustrating because it's like the word mudstone. Like mudstone is typically really easy to dig through, but like this stuff can be so hard.
Yeah.
That it's so keyed in that it's like playing Jenga 24/7.
Anti-Jenga.
Anti-Jenga, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I want it to fall apart.
I know.
except for
Once we know we're kind of below the bone, we probably just start
Yeah, I just blasted through this thing. So fragile, goodness. Nope, it looks like nothing good. Yeah.
I did bring the angle grinder.
Is it like a or something? Better be.
We could experiment with that, making some cuts.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
The only problem is there's like a 20-foot plume of dust that shoots out the back of it. Could be valley fever filled dust.
Today.
We had those rock saws going left and right at St. George back in March and April.
Respiratory hazard.
Yeah.
James St. George.
Yep, Andrew loves his rock saws. That time when the homeschooler showed up with all the kids, he's like, I think it's time for me to fire up the saw. Before actually just telling him, sorry, you gotta be of a certain age. Can't have 7-year-olds around here.
Vilky Den says, this has to be the best paleontology SciComm around because I wouldn't even know digs were going on otherwise. I appreciate you saying that. Shoot. Yeah, just trying to show people what this kind of thing is like, and yeah, I don't know if it's the best paleontology communication, but I appreciate your enthusiasm, and I don't know why I'm disagreeing. I'm sorry.
Yeah, don't listen to my channel. But really, Danny, it's great. You should listen. Yep, obviously.
The best paleo ASMR stream too. I don't know. Listening to fossil prep streams where it's just the
constant
whirring
lull of the air scribe.
Yeah, or the high pitched whine that. Who doesn't love that? You know. It's like going to the dentist.
So calming.
Universally known as one of the most pleasant experiences.
Oh yeah, everybody loves going. Can't wait until my appointment January 14th when I have to go back. Yeah. And the dig is going well, Chief Beef. Thanks for asking. Yeah. And yes, Pumpkin the Cat, this jacket, the big one between Ethan and Fisher there, it's actually from last summer. That was some big iguanodont limb bones that we found on like second to last day. And you can see one of the bones actually peeking out right there. Two of them. 1, 2. This used to be the back wall of the quarry. So all of this going up until where you're sitting.
Thanks, Don.
You chat where your tripod is sitting. This was all, rock here. That was the high wall right here. So we cleared away a lot of overburden. We've got another bone right here next to this paintbrush. And yeah, haven't found too many other big bones over here yet, which is a little disappointing, but I'm hoping they're under here.
You're kind of high, Danny.
Yeah, yeah. Also, I'm, stratigraphically up.
I didn't find anything until I came down here, and then I have 3 things right next to each other. So.
That was a stupid joke, I'm sorry. Been talking for too long.
Bedding planes when you first went over.
Yeah.
I love my life. I love my life. I love standing over all day.
Alright.
I love living on the ground.
And Kira says, it's the hammering of the rocks for me. It's nice. I'm glad you like that. Yeah.
We belong on the ground.
And Mossalith has got a good question. I'm going to pick up the camera and walk around for a little bit and then we'll wrap up. But, yeah. There we go. Let me put this on. There we are. It's a big plane. Can't even see it's above the clouds. Hopefully it's not a B-52. About to drop some ordnance on us. Question from Mossalith. Any advice for volunteering for a dig or other paleo work? I don't have any education in the field, but I find it really cool and I want to help out. People say to volunteer, but I'm not sure where, especially within my state, Washington. Well. I would get in contact with the Burke Museum in Seattle. They've got some dinosaurs on display that I helped dig up, which is really cool. But yeah, that is your big museum in Washington. It's the Burke Museum, B-U-R-K-E, in Seattle. They run fieldwork out in Montana every year, and they take volunteers. So see if you might be able to join them. They're one of the big crews. Like, they do serious work. It's no joke. Mickey Mouse Group, like they're big players at the Burke Museum and co. So I would look into that. Yeah. Also, other stuff in the region would be John Day fossil beds in eastern Oregon. It's probably a long drive from where you are in Washington, but maybe not. And they might have work going on there too. But my biggest piece of advice would be just do it. Just reach out. Ask if they could use some help. Paleontology, I've been watching some fieldwork live streams. I think I could do this kind of work. Would it be possible for me to join you guys? Just emphasize that, well, I don't know, do that. And if you remember this advice, apply it to say, hey, you know, I'm comfortable outdoors, I'm good at taking orders, I've got a good attitude. You know, put me in, coach. That's the kind of attitude to have. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. The squeaky wheel gets the oil. Won't get it if you don't ask. Exactly, JB. Yeah. Yeah. And, we'll do that. Thank you. You bet, Mosolith. Yeah. And if you mention my name, you know, Greg Wilson might remember me. Also, Michael Holland works there. I don't know if he does field work, but he works at that museum too. Yeah. The world shouldn't work this way necessarily, where you're like, oh, you know, I'm going to name drop this person. That'll proffer benefits for me. But, you know, feel free to use my name if you think that'll help, because I've worked with them before. And, flight line? I don't get Crimson, that joke sails over my head. I don't know what you're talking about. And you know, Greg Wilson and his wife, very cool, Diagonal. Yeah, good folks. Yeah. And yeah, there you go, Anodyne. That's also good advice. Yeah. Oh, like the blinker fluid runs. Oh, okay. I gotcha. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay, I got you. Crimson. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I think with that, we'll go ahead and wrap up. I hope my throat gets better. I hope I'm not getting sick or something. Oh. I probably got cough drops in my car. I'm going to go check when we get back to camp. But we're going to be... Well, yeah, Donna's already taken down the tarp, so it is time to say goodbye. But don't go away just yet. We're going to find somebody else who might be doing some science here on Twitch, and we're going to go right into them. So let's see who is on right now. I'll go to my following list. There we go. Let's see. Oh, Nerdowino is on. Well. Let's go right into Nerdowino, who is a former NASA scientist and current excellent science communicator here on Twitch. Raid. Nerdowino. Whoops, it would help if I would spell it right. There we go. Excellent. Everybody, thank you for being here. Thank you for your viewership and your questions and your enthusiasm, and just, you know, the internet is such a big place, and the idea that you spent some of your day here with us here when you could be just about anywhere, that means a lot, and I don't want to take that for granted. So thank you for spending this time with us, being out here in the field, asking questions. I really appreciate it. Thank you, maybe especially to those who rated in, who followed. Thank you to everybody who supported the stream financially. It's because of that I can be out here in the first place. Without your financial support, this would not be possible. So thank you for that. Thank you to our moderation team, all those lovely mods who help keep this a safe and welcoming community for everybody. That's essential work, and I really appreciate it. Love you, mods. Thank you for that. That being said, I will hopefully be streaming again tomorrow, same time, same place. Maybe we'll even have some more bones to show off. We shall see. But until then, everybody, you take care of yourselves, and let's go see what Nerduino is up to. 401 viewers ready to raid. Let's do it. All right, take care, everybody. Bye-bye.